for it.
All right. What's going on, everyone? This is brewpac.shakur.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Art.
And this is Brian.
And welcome to the Brewing podcast, where we're creating community connections through casual conversations. Episode 42.
Yeah, the meaning of life.
I know. Please do us a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It does help us out. Road to 500. On today's episode, we have Carldee Soriano. Carldee is a business development manager, Pokemon TCG collector, and family man. Let's welcome Carldee to the show.
Yeah. Welcome, Carldee.
Let's cheers to that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Cheers.
So, Carldee, you want to share with the audience what we have to drink today?
We got Tierra Madre Lager by Mother Earth Brew Company. A beer for all reasons.
Really had to roll your R's there.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. Not bad. Pretty refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, before we get to our guests, we like to read testimonials on the show. These come from our community members, taken from either conversations, comments, and or direct messages, aka
DMs.
Damn.
Today's testimonial is from Maddox. Is that Maddox? All right. So, when I watched the episode with Uncle Chris, I all of a sudden wanted to do art for my career.
Wow.
You got family.
Dang,
It's in the family. There you go.
Influence.
It's in the blood.
Yeah.
Let's get things going. Carldee, coming to America. Not the Eddie Murphy story, but
Your story.
what is your story?
Hey,
So-
I was Boba, all right? Brought over by plane.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, airplane.
Airplane.
I was like, that's Bob P. Brought over by plane. I was Boba, brought over by plane.
so you were born in the Philippines?
Yes. So in the Philippines, I was born in Makati City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
in 1992. Back in the day, they actually had a racetrack in Santa Ana, which is like right next to Makati. So and my mother's side, my family is like a history of jockeys. Like
Oh.
my uncle,
What?
like my uncle right now, there's like an article written on him, like
Okay.
basically how he's a journeyman that like from the age of 16, he's been like riding horses, bro.
That's
like,
so
and he's
nuts.
40 now, and like he traveled all over the world, but it's because his father was also a jockey, and so like
Oh.
there was like a racetrack back in the day in Makati. So that's, my mother's side. On my father's side, it was like closer to like the railroad area. So then like, two different parts of town. But yeah, growing up in the Philippines, bro, like you could see all the food vendors everywhere. Like no matter where you go, you got some lady on the street selling like balot. You got like the taho, man.
Taho.
You know what I mean? And
For
some-
our non-Filipino folk, you want to explain Taho?
Oh, yeah. So for our non-Filipino folks out there, I believe that taho is tofu, right? Soy.
Soy,
yeah.
I mean, tofu is soy too, but
Tofu,
it's like
yeah.
similar.
Yeah, and then they have like sugar, this brown sugar that they have, and these little like bead pearls, like boba.
Yeah.
Like tapioca.
Yeah.
Tapioca. And then they'll have it in a mix. They'll stir it up, and it's like 5 pesos. For
Yeah.
like
That's
small.
crazy.
5 pesos is how much?
Dude,
10
it's-
cents,
Yeah.
10 cents for a
roughly
drink.
10 cents. Yeah.
20 cents,
Yeah.
10 cents.
Yeah.
For a cold drink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's amazing.
It's like fresh too, right?
Oh,
The-
for
the-
sure.
in the morning.
Yeah.
And back then, like I had to learn how to use a jeepney. Have you guys ever rode a jeepney?
Yeah, when I
Bro,
I'll tell you.
You gotta hitch the ride, man.
Dude, jeepneys have like the biggest trust systems, right?
Yep.
Because you're at the end, you go in, you're like
Yeah.
paying, you give someone your money,
Yeah.
and then they pass it along.
Yeah.
You hope that they don't take
Yeah.
your change on the way back.
It's a social
bro.
contract.
It is
Yeah.
a social
Yeah.
contract.
Can we backtrack? So for our folks that do not know what a jeepney is, can you explain?
Yeah.
Yes, so a jeepney is basically an extended vehicle.
Usually
right?
a bus.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like a bus, but during World War II, I believe they had all these older Jeeps that was used during the war, but instead they reconstructed it in a way that could be accessed by civilians.
Wow.
And-
shoot.
Look at this history
Yep.
lesson.
Come
Okay.
on now, Filipino. I got y'all. But basically, you know what I mean? Like, it was cool that they had all of these vehicles, and then it became a national like tradition. Like there was even like an argument, like, oh, like let's go electric, or you know? What I mean?
Wow!
Recently?
Yeah, maybe in the last 10 years.
Oh wait, yeah, because
they did.
But they didn't want to erase part of like the culture. And
Exactly.
Like that.
And like, come on, now they're like, what, you want to get rid of the smog?
Yeah.
But like part of it is too like
smell.
You don't like the gas?
Yeah, if you Google up a jeepney, like they're very colorful, decorated.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's a little bit harder to get rid of because it's pretty iconic.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
They even changed like old jeepneys into like little restaurant things too.
When they can't run anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
They can't run anymore. Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, exactly. Philippines is very rich in culture, man. And it's like, the only thing is we be like, hey, let's go to America though. It's because of like I said, World War II had a very big impact on the Philippine culture. We were like, man, you know what? These guys got a nice life. Let's go check it out.
At what age then did you guys decide to come to America?
I was 9 years old. Okay. My mom is the same age as me right now.
Damn,
like she was
like my
32.
nephew.
Yeah. So my mom brought me, just me, like at the age of 32. Wow. She was like, yo, we're going to go to your auntie's debut. That was just what I knew, right? Yeah. I was like, hey, we're going to go to your auntie's debut. Shout out Ate April. You know what I mean?
Wait, she went to Mermaid High too?
She did. Her and her brother, Jules.
Yeah, I think I know of her from my cousin Chris or Tina. They're the same grade. Yeah.
So it was her 18th birthday.
At the time, yeah.
Yes, at the time. And what was, you know, her parents were the traditional Filipino, like, parents. Like, her mom was a nurse. Oh. Yep. And her dad is in the Navy. No!
Yeah. She's set for life.
Love it, right? And it was cool. So basically, we were welcomed, you know, by my Jima and Jipa. And I was like, you know, really tripped out, man. Because when I got here, it was really foggy. I'd never seen like how do I say, you know, in the mornings here, like back in the day in Mesa, it gets really cloudy. Yeah. And then like I never seen that. I'm used to humid, hot weather.
It's either hot or wet. That's it. Yeah.
And then I was like, what's going on? Unless you're up in like
the mountains.
You know? Yeah. And so I was like wearing like so much clothes and there I'm like school and so like, I was like, Jesus. And then I ended up going to like Sandberg at first.
Oh, Tigers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, how old were you this time?
9.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. It was like, oh my God, that was like 23 years ago.
Time flies, man.
Time flies, bro.
So you went from Sandberg to Challenger, I'm assuming?
No, I actually, I moved to Walker.
Oh, okay.
I moved closer,
got it.
to Walker. Yes. So then basically, you know, after a while, my mom got remarried and then we moved in that direction. And so afterwards, it was like, oh, okay. Like I ended up going to Walker and then Wagenheim. Yeah. You know, back in the day, if you're from Mira Mesa, you knew that it was Wagon Slime versus Challenge Jerks.
Yeah. Or Challenge Nerds or something.
Yeah. Every middle school had
man.
Meadowbrook was Mental Brook. And then Twin Peaks was Twin Cheeks. Yeah. Every middle school, like, I don't know, for whatever reason, everyone had beef.
Oh, yeah, of course. Because, you know, I feel like teenagers got, like, a lot of hormones. They just want to, like, talk that smack.
Exert dominance.
Yeah.
It's territorial,
like,
man.
you're whack.
I don't know you, but you're whack.
You look funny.
So your aunt to April, her family petitioned you guys then?
Yes. So in order for us to have gotten here.
And who's us? Just you and your mom?
Like my mom and I. Yes. Okay. So basically what happened was we like came here. That was like our reasoning to go here was basically her like debut.
Dang.
And then after a while, I would say, you know, we were TNT, man. We were tago na tago, you know what I'm saying? We were hiding for a minute. Yeah. We're like, we're not here.
Tago means Tago means
no, but basically after a while, like I said, we were chilling here for a minute. And then I believe when my mom got remarried, it's like when we kind of, established our life here. Because I was like, I guess there's no turning back.
Yeah.
I won't be able to see my friends in the Philippines. You know what I mean?
Did you have a chance to say goodbye and all that? Or was it like, I'll see you later?
Oh my God. I got a crazy story.
Like, did you?
It's like, we'll be
Wait,
back.
let
We
me
just
go,
go
let me
into
go.
a
Never
debut
comes back.
and never comes back.
No, check it out. So rewind back. I was still in the Philippines. You know what was great about the Philippines is the fact that, like, as a kid, like, you were just, at the time too, maybe because we didn't have phones or anything.
Yeah.
We're always just running around. We're like messing around. Like, like I would wait after school for like my ride, and like what we would do is like we try to like go behind the security guards and like freaking like hide in the school and play around, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so at the time, my aunt April's birthday was in October
Okay.
2001. A month before
Yeah.
was 9/11.
Oh,
Imagine as a fourth grader,
Fourth grade.
and you see all these news about planes
crazy.
crashing
Yeah.
into like buildings. I was like, why the heck do we want to go there? I don't want to go there. What are our planes?
But you're already
crash?
there. Yeah.
You know?
That was our senior year
Yeah.
in high school. And
Yeah.
you were in the fourth
Well,
grade?
not
Yeah.
senior.
Damn.
It was
my
junior.
freshman
Junior? Somewhere around there? Yeah.
Or sophomore year, I guess.
No, that was
Freshman year?
That's sophomore for me.
Freshman for me.
Okay.
2001.
Yeah, whatever Ryan was.
Yeah.
Junior.
Yeah.
How old do you want to be in the past?
You know, like I said, man, I'm running on 3 hours of sleep here. So.
Basically, I was running around and in Philippines, and then like we hear the stories, we're watching the videos.
I mean, it was
It's like,
worldwide,
yeah, it was worldwide. I mean, at the time as a kid, it's very scary. It's like, why would you want to go there if people are blowing up planes to like a building? Like, I mean, I was like, I don't want that to happen to us. It's like, and then she was like, no, we're going. And then I was like, are we gonna come back? She's like, no answer. No comment. So I was just like, okay.
So you weren't even sure then?
I wasn't sure at the time when I was, that young, but I kind of had an idea.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of family members, it's like, it's a very common theme in the Philippines. It's like, hey, like there's other opportunities outside of our country.
Yeah.
This is why we created the term OFW, right? Overseas Filipino workers all across the world. Shout out to all the, Pinoy families taking care of their families back at home. You know what I mean? It's a very typical traditional like culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I think that was like the main idea that my mom was like thinking, but originally too, she wanted to kind of bring, her siblings over, but over time it didn't work out the way it wanted, because it's hard. Like, how do you uproot someone's life when they already have a life? And like, another country is just tough, man.
Yeah.
It's a big leap.
It is a big leap.
Yeah.
You gotta be risky. You know what I mean? Take that risk.
So let's talk about high school then, or just your high school experience. What did you get into in high school? What kind of extracurricular
in high school? I got into a lot of extracurriculars.
Okay.
When it comes to community service, I joined Key Club.
Nice.
Key Club.
You guys were in Key Club?
Was that standard
was,
for
yeah.
all the schools?
I was not, but
I was not, but I know what Key Club
was,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Key Club was like,
Not gonna lie, I joined for less than altruistic reasons.
all right. Who was she?
There was some cute girls in Key Club, man.
Yeah.
So me and my friends were like, dude, let's go over here. We didn't even know what it was at the time, and until they started handing out the sign-up sheet, and we're like, yeah, hell yeah, all right.
Hey, just tell you got the key, right?
Yeah. The key. But yes, your reasons are probably a lot better. Like, you actually joined for what it's worth.
I mean, I joined.
Is it still around? Yeah.
I think they have to.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
nice, hopefully.
it's like in high school, you had like they teach you not like having good grades isn't enough.
Right. Yeah.
You have to join this. You have to be this, and then it's like, okay,
Well-rounded.
well-rounded,
Yep.
but not round.
I mean, that comes later.
Yeah, no, I joined Key Club.
Okay.
Also, I was in wrestling. I was actually the captain of the
wrestling
team.
captain.
Varsity captain for 2, and then JV for 1. So,
Okay.
But the funny thing is, I only started my freshman year. You know, like it was because one of my friends actually got me into it because my mom did. Backyard wrestling.
Hey, that's how one of my other friends got into wrestling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my mom did not want me to do football. She's like, football has too many head injuries. I'm a nurse, you know.
She knows the statistics.
She knows the statistics. She always look out for me, and she's like, funny story is the reason why I was able to go to Mira Mesa.
Yeah.
She wanted me to go to a script.
Oh, hell no.
See, That's what I said. I was like 8th grade. Mom, all my friends are gonna be in Mira Mesa. If you put me in scripts, I'm gonna get bullied, bro. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be different. You know, there's a lot more. In my opinion, there was a lot more of Filipino people in Mira Mesa at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna go where the people are. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but
wait, I think at the time was Scripps the new school at that time.
No, they've been around.
They've been around, but they were newer.
Yeah. But like, no, at that time was because it's usually like a cycle where like the newest school gets hated on.
Yeah.
Like remember when like Westview came out?
Oh yeah, for sure,
Everyone hated that school. Yeah. But for a while before, I think it was before Westview, like RB was kind of like the newer one. So then everyone hated it. So it's just a cycle.
There's always another high school.
Yeah.
Being a part of wrestling, did you actually watch WWE and all the?
Oh, I love WWE back in the Philippines.
What?
Yeah, like you would see.
You get it over there?
Yeah, like it was cool. Like that's why I remember The Rock. You know what I mean? And then also like me and my cousins. Like when we were younger, when we were in elementary. You ever played WWE versus SmackDown?
Oh yeah.
Or sorry, the Raw versus SmackDown.
Is that on N64?
No, it was on PS2.
Okay.
Okay.
So like there was all these like wrestling games. It's like you could be that character and you're like, oh, you get to do the BTS type.
Yeah, you get to do their special moves.
Yeah, you get to do their special move. You get to create your own wrestler.
Yeah.
This is before John Cena and everything.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Who, me?
No, the person behind you.
Got him.
Okay. No, I would say growing up, The Rock was so inspirational because
electrifying. You
gotta
know WWE.
I was thinking of like, if you smell
what
The Rock is cooking.
That's pretty good.
He was sick, and then like. I always wanted him to win, but like, you know, like times changed. He got bald.
Hey, it happens to everyone. Huh?
Yeah, he went from the rock to the boulder.
Yeah.
Wrestling was cool. I believe that it really taught me a lot about, you know, determination and perseverance. It's not easy being a wrestler, bro. Like, not only do you have to cut a lot of weight.
I was gonna say like that weight management.
Oh, dude,
probably tough.
my mom hated it. She got mad. She was like, I'm trying to feed you, and I'm over here eating like a peanut butter sandwich. And she's like, ugh.
Chicken breast.
Yeah, it was like I was like calorie counting, and then like I was like running like 5 miles a day, like just to keep my weight down.
In school or
so basically we would have practice, right? So we would have our after 5th or 6th period PE.
Okay,
and then so we train as a whoever has 6th period PE will work out together.
Yeah.
Right.
Then we have our training sessions. And after that, obviously, if you want to be a champion, you got to go above and beyond. Like, you have to put in the extra work that no one is putting in. And, like, that's why, like, I'm really proud of, like, Mira Mesa now, especially their wrestling. Like, like their wrestling program has sent kids to colleges. Wow. We have state wrestlers from Mira Mesa is like a norm now. Like, I'm really proud of how far the program has been taken. Like, you know, I was under Coach Talbot.
Oh, what? You still coaching?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then now I believe they have a newer coach who's been coaching for the last 10 years, but he's killing it. And I'm really, really proud of like how far like the wrestling program has been, because even when I was there, they had like maybe 2-3 girl wrestlers. Now they have a whole squad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Whole girls wrestling team?
Yeah, like literally like from like all like
times change.
Yeah, times change real quick. Like they have it for all weight classes too.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. So besides wrestling, I would say other extracurriculars that got into is, I wasn't always like just at school. I would get into like some dumb stuff with my friends, what I mean? It's like, hey guys, let's go visit this random high school and just like walk around and look cool.
That's the extracurricular.
What was the dumbest thing you say you would say that you did?
I would say like in high school, okay, so like
Just one.
you guys,
Just one. Yeah.
I don't regret it, but it was funny, right?
Right.
You guys remember back in high school, like Powder Puff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Football?
Yeah,
Powder Puff football.
So
Okay.
me,
Sounds like the girls.
yeah.
Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, me and my friends, we all like became the cheerleaders.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have pictures of this?
I'll send it later.
Okay.
Oh, there are pictures.
Yeah,
Dude.
there are pictures.
Send it in the group chat.
Yeah, exactly. But it felt fun at the time and silly, but then like I look back, I was like, God, what was I thinking? Oh, Jesus.
You're only young once, man.
Yeah,
Just
live
live
it. Yeah, who cares,
Yeah,
right?
You got one life.
Yeah. So outside of that, what else did you do in high school?
Oh, other sports.
Oh,
So
wow.
because I was in wrestling, my friends was like, "Oh, you're a pretty athletic guy. Why don't you join this team?" So my friends, I made a lot of Vietnamese friends in high school.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Vietnamese community. You know,
Yeah.
they look out for
Happy
the people.
AAPI, 11th.
Exactly.
It's me.
The number one sport that they liked when I was they were all Vietnamese in this one sport. Can you guys take a guess? Take a guess.
Badminton?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
It is a thing,
Okay.
especially in Mare Mesa.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
like,
The new wins in the yearbook had their own like pages.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah. And they all played badminton. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Nadine actually played for like a semester, or like not a semester, maybe like a whatever season.
That's cool.
yeah, dude. Like
They're so good.
they're so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like I was able to travel to like a lot of different places because like, and I would see like, oh, okay, like their number one, number two is like these Vietnamese guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then they'll have like other
Not-
ethnically what is it called? Ethnically, how do I say it? Like it's hard to describe.
Without being-
Ambiguous, ethnically
okay.
ambiguous people. There you go.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have ethnically ambiguous people that you're like, are they Asian? Are they like
Yeah.
Middle Eastern? I don't know, but they're pretty good too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say badminton was pretty cool. And then I tried out tennis for a little bit.
That's
Okay.
good. You wanted to see what the racket's about. So tennis, badminton, wrestling, any other sports?
Those
you
are
did
the
a lot
ones-
in high school.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
I did
You have all the
those.
time, man.
I mean,
It's all about homework.
That's what happened. I was sleeping all the time.
Oh.
Like, like I'd be in class, like
Or you sleep in class?
yeah, I was like, I think what was it? I think I got most likely to sleep in class one year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Then in the yearbook, me and this one, we were just like,
Just post it up. Yeah.
That's cool.
so yeah. I mean, those are the sports. Key club. That from what I remember, like those are the ones that are like still in here, right? You know,
Yeah.
key memories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's cool because I saw like I think my name on like a plaque at the high school.
Oh, for
Yeah,
wrestling?
For wrestling, I was
Nice.
like, man, this is dope. Like
You're like, that's me.
that's me.
Have you ever like went back and just had, like gave like a pep talk or like
Yeah. So I actually visited maybe like a couple years ago.
Okay.
I was interested in trying to help coach because like I wanted to try to give back to the
Yeah.
community, but at the same time there was like it was just isn't the right timing for me, and I feel bad because I saw how well the kids were doing, and like I could see the tenacity of some of these kids, and I was like, wow, like these kids are going far, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, but there are some, it's like, dude, I've been so good for so long. Like there's always gonna be sometimes those people that like they feel like they're so good that they need to be challenged.
Yeah.
And like, you know, that's where the coaching part comes in, where, you know, you kind of have to, like you said, you give that pep talk, talk to them about like, okay, like if you think you could beat everyone in San Diego, why don't you go to other, you know, competitions? But I think that so it's important to give back to the community and even educate or demonstrate how they could be better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether it's like on and off the mat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they could be really good on the mat, but
Yeah.
maybe off the mat, they're a piece of,
Yeah.
Damn.
Tell her how it is.
Yeah.
Let's go into fatherhood.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
also that was a key extracurricular activity in high school.
Wait, in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Senior year?
Oh.
yeah, senior year.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So the mother of my child
Yeah.
gave birth on March 22, 2010. So that's my
Oh.
daughter's birthday.
Okay.
So that was literally like the semester before we graduate. So we graduate maybe like May.
Okay.
And then this was like before I even like got into SDSU. I already
You went
knew-
straight into SCSU.
I went straight to SDSU.
Got
But
it.
I was like, I knew I got it, but like, oh, no, my daughter was born. Then I
Yeah.
found out I got it. And then it's like,
Oh.
but I
This whole
think,
time I never knew, dude.
yeah, dude, it's been a very beautiful and tough journey, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like wrestling.
It's fatherhood, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very difficult because obviously, like, when you have two parents who may not see eye to eye
Yeah.
on certain things, it's really important to diffuse that situation. And sometimes compromise isn't always going to be there.
Mhm.
But if you look beyond the situation and if you focus on the present too much, it's not going to make the situation better.
Yeah.
So I've always done my best to think forward and think about what would be best for my daughter and like how would I want her to be there or how would I want to be there for her because
Right.
ever since I was younger, I didn't have like a good father figure too. So then like I was like, damn, like one thing I told myself was like, I don't want to be like my father.
Yeah.
And it's
Break
like,
the cycle. Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm trying to break the cycle.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, back in the day, very tough because it's like what I learned is it's very easy to make mistakes when you have low stakes, right? Like what I mean by that is like, okay, like if you're not let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
It's easy to make a mistake when when the stakes are low, but then when you have high stakes in, like you're all in, like everything is like you got to be very on point with it, right?
Right.
And so as a father, I've learned to be very patient with my daughter and to adapt, right? It's like at every stage, ever since she was younger, the same parenting style cannot be applied. So how, as a parent, from the first few years to like 0 to 5 to 5 to 10 until now, and like trying to, you know, work through that with, you know, I think that it's a lot easier if both parents are, you know, in the same wavelength and trying to parent. But for those of, you know, other people who are, you know, maybe not together with the mother of their child or father of their child, co-parenting is very important for the growth of the child, because if the kids are smart, they're going to pick up on like whether it's good behavior or bad behavior. They're going to justify that I'm doing it because you're doing it. You know what I mean?
I learned it from you, Dad.
Yeah, they imprint very easily. So like, if you don't brush your teeth in the morning, you better goddamn do. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you better have good hygiene and, you know, little things like that. Or like maybe like mannerisms, right? If you're talking to a certain way to your friends or like how you treat people, and then they're going to do the same thing. And it's like, my mom and I had this conversation of nature versus nurture.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's like big debate. Because sometimes some people want to be like, oh, well, they're just kind of like that. That's how they're born. And then it's like, okay, but did you look at the situation, how like that kind of happened? Like, how was the nurturing part? Was it, you know, because we noticed that when the parents are very active in the kids' lifestyle, it makes a big impact on their success, right? It's like, why do you think like all these like NFL players, like both their parents, like most of them, right? They're like, oh yeah, I've been taking them to like this since they were like 5 years old. It's like, and you notice that it's like doesn't feel forced. Like they want the kid actually wanted to do it too, you know? It's like giving that strength and motivation. It's like, hey, like I believe you can do it. It's not because you're doing it for me, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Finding that motivation is very important.
What's the feeling of, you know, when your daughter was first born?
Oh.
Where were you in that?
Like
You got the call,
Oh,
or
I got-
like,
yo, wait, wait,
what was that experience?
I got you.
Yeah.
I will. This is very ingrained in my brain. I was 17 years old.
Damn,
I
dude.
was at home and I got a text or a phone call, right? I think I got a phone call saying, hey, Michaela is almost born. Or basically, like, the baby is due, right?
Yeah.
And so as a 17-year-old kid, I was panicking. I was like, oh no.
Wait, did you even know she was pregnant or no?
No. I knew she was pregnant.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
The mother of
By
my
9
child-
months.
Yeah,
9
it's
months,
kind of
right?
obvious.
No, because I don't know. Like I
You
didn't
never know these days.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if it was like a one night stand. You guys separated, and all of a sudden you got a call.
He wants some
Oh,
details.
some
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it
got
was a
you,
call.
Brian.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
let me
yeah.
get you.
Sorry, yeah.
some back.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fair.
Yeah.
Brian don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, if you don't know, let me educate. So basically, I was dating this woman for like, or this at the time, there's a girl, like basically on and off through high school, right? And obviously, it was like cool because we actually like had gone through the ups and downs of a relationship, but the problem was we just were not compatible in the sense of it's like we cannot be passing down the things that our parents taught us to each other, right? And then it's like as much as I wanted it to work, it just didn't. And that's another story for another day. But anyway, like her family was with her. I believe her sister called me or texted me. She's like, hey, giving birth, you should head over to the hospital. And then so it was at the Balboa Medical Hospital. And then so for me, I was panicking and I was like, oh snap, like I need to get there. And this is before Google Maps. Remember, this is before like
You had to print it
GPS,
out, right?
Yeah.
Or like GPS, like I think around that time, like
had
GPS was
to use-
starting to. You had like
to
you had
use
the Garmin.
MapQuest.
Garmin,
Yeah.
Garmin.
Nah, bro, I had to
You used MapQuest?
MapQuest?
I
Okay.
had to use dial-up.
Y'all getting ready.
So
like,
for
come
the-
on.
Yeah, come
AOL,
on.
let's go. I need to go.
No, but
For those that know, in the before times, we had to look up our directions before we headed out.
yeah, before
Nothing on
you
the
know,
fly.
before on your phone, you know.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was like panicking. I was like, oh man, I don't want to miss this because this is like one of those things that I feel is very important, and it's very defining of character, in my opinion. So to me, I was, like I said, I was panicked. I was rushing. So I was speeding.
Yeah.
I was going down the 15, going like 80 miles an hour in my Toyota Celica. It was like white. It was like, I was like, ooh, you know what I mean? I was
made
like,
that
fifth
sound.
gear. Instead of a shit. So yeah, I got pulled over. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I'm tearing up. I was like,
I'm not gonna make it.
Officer, like you see this text, like my daughter's about to be born.
Oh, you showed him the text?
Yeah, I did. And then
Did
I
he give you escort?
no, he let me go though. He said, hey, and this would stick to me for a while. But basically he's like, hey, like, you know what? I want to make sure that her daughter has a father, so please drive safe.
True.
And I was like, wow.
That's
Like he
cool.
handled it very well. Cause it's like I feel like having that understanding of people's emotions is very important, especially, you know, in that situation, because it's like, yeah, obviously I'm
You're breaking the law by speeding, but
yeah, exactly. But it's like I need to calm down, right? And then it's like he was trying to help reassess me. And then when I get there, obviously I was in there and saw the whole thing, right?
Wow.
So it's like I was like, oh my God, is it baby coming? I was like, is that a head? What is that?
Ace Ventura.
The doctor's like, we haven't started yet.
Like, sir, you're in the wrong room. Like, the woman's like, who's that? So you saw the miracle of life, for sure.
I saw the miracle of life. And when I held my daughter, it was like such a beautiful moment. I was like, oh my God, like this person is like half me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought, how awesome was it to see that in that moment is like, it's beautiful. I don't know, like I can try to use my words to describe it, but all I know is it's like gives you that tingly goosebump feeling of like, wow, like this is how I will engrave my history into this generation, right? It's like I will do my best to teach her as much as I could with what I could. And I just hope that she ends up being a great human being.
Yeah.
That's quite a feeling to have for 17 years old, man.
Oh, yeah,
I
man.
know.
Yeah.
It's scary, but it's like it changes the way you perceive life, right?
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like, I think that it made me very cautious on certain things, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm a dad, but then it's like, then I go into college and I was like, oh man, like things didn't happen the way I wanted. And, you know, like I mentioned, it's like things happen for a reason. Because of certain things that happened, like with my high school friends and I ended up joining Alpha Psi Rho.
Yeah.
And that is where I met brewpac.shakur. And like, it was so cool because like when I met like these guys, I was like, oh, like I actually got rushed by like Ben.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he rushed me. He was like, yo, like come out to one of our events, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh yeah, you're Mirror Mesa too? I was like, hell yeah, let's kick it. Because at the time, okay, when you're young, you have infinite potential in your head, right? You feel like you can go in any direction. Yeah. You're like Spider-Man into the multiverse.
Now I understand.
Yeah, you have to speak in Marvel terms.
Speak my language.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I was like, okay, well, it's obviously important to get into a good future, right? I think as anyone in college or any like late teen, young 20s, their anxiety is through the roof because they want to make their family proud or they want to be successful in their career. And like, that's a lot of pressure, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, and I saw that, okay, maybe if I join this fraternity, it'll be a lot easier to like get those things, right? And it's like, they look like they're very well respected on campus. These are their accomplishments. People seem to come up to them very easily. I was like, okay, let me check it out. So like me and like my friend like actually interviewed, and then he didn't get in.
Oh shoot!
And then but I
remember. Okay, I do.
It was so awkward because like we were right next to each other.
Oh, on the phone. Oh, that's horrible.
Wait. So they call you individually, right?
Yeah.
So they called you first, and then they called him.
Well, the crazy part is because the one thing that I had to stress. So I was the new members educator at the time, right?
Oh, okay.
And the one thing I had to stress was we're not gonna just push out numbers, guys. Like we're not here to build our group because we have quantity. I want quality guys. That was like my whole thing. I think I was probably like 24 at the time.
Spring 2010 or fall 2010?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said I wanted quality guys. This was before we started rushing. We're planning in the summertime. And you know what, with me planning, I plan ahead of time. And so we're breaking this down. We're doing workshops. We're doing all types of things to get ready for your class. And so I said, I don't want people standing here, hanging out at the tent. Y'all got to bring back people because at the end of the day, we're going to have a big number, which happened. Yeah. It was like the biggest group I've ever seen since I've crossed, right? Till
this day.
Till this day. During Rush, we had so many people. We're like, is this for us? Right? And we had to narrow it down. And I think when we started giving out bids, we really pulled up everyone's picture on a screen. We talked about all the interaction, engagement, and then all your extracurricular activities, everything that you would bring to the table. So it wasn't like, because in the past I'd be like, wait, why are we giving these bids? Because that guy's cool. That's how a lot of our old school thought too, right? This guy's cool. I see him as a homie. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But we're in here trying to change the culture and handle business. And how do you do that when you're just like, this is that? Everyone had, and this was the hard part. We had to narrow it down to, it was basically what you guys brought to the table. And it was 18 bids that semester. So can you talk about the experience of coming in as a class with 18 people?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Can you imagine being on a football team and like you can't even agree because sometimes you have your quarterback, you have your wide receivers, you got your blockers, you have your running back. It's like everyone has their role.
Yeah.
Right.
We all had our role, we all had our position, but when you are playing on a not a professional team, but more on like a intramural team, right? Mm-hmm. You're like, you know what? I don't think he's a good quarterback. Let's switch him out, right?
Yeah. Right.
It's like a lot of this shift had to happen in order to make the dynamic work. And we came from all over the world, right? We had a very diverse culture of Sigma class.
Yeah.
We had, people from like out of state. We had NorCal, SoCal, East Coast, West Coast, like basically everything. And
can you share the ethnicities? Because a lot of it was the first time for our Asian-based fraternity.
Yes, we were an Asian-based fraternity, right? But for some reason, we had African Americans joining. We had like, white people.
American.
Polish, Italian.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we had, your Filipinos, Vietnamese, and Samoan, right?
Yeah,
Or
Samoan.
Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And so it's amazing how all these people came together because they were like, I want to look like a cool Asian guy.
The crazy part was that was the first time where I felt like other fraternities turned their heads. I'm like, why are they going to that group instead of ours?
Yeah.
I would hear the chatters and I was like, this is a special group.
Yes.
Like, because for the first time, we talked about, though it's Asian based, doesn't mean we have to keep it at that. This is a brotherhood at the end of the day.
Oh,
and so
sure.
that was like your class. I think the theme was it Golden Age or something?
Yes, the Golden Age.
Golden Age, because this was like a change. Like a lot of the stuff was like tired of the old school. Let's bring it into this new school. We'll still respect the old school ways, but at the same time, we got to adapt to what we wanted to
evolve.
Be.
Right?
Yeah, and so that evolved with your class, like in all aspects, not just ethnicity, but what you guys brought to the table.
Oh, for sure.
We
definitely, like I said, we all had come from different backgrounds. We got people who came from Japan, you know what I mean? And it's like when you have a variety of cultures and backgrounds come together like a melting pot, it really accelerates your evolution, in my opinion. Because when you surround yourself with different perspectives and gives you an idea of how to be best, what I was very thankful for about pledging is that when you're a teenager or in your early 20s, you will mess up a lot. You will mess up so many times, but the thing that is the most important is having a safety net of people that will make you feel like you can still do it, right? Most of the time, like, I feel that after people finish high school or like, maybe whether it's like they just want to work or like maybe they're going to community, whatever, or they're going back to, or they're in college. Sometimes people have very low quality friendships where it's it's either transactional or it's very like, oh, hey, yeah, sure, we'll hang out here. But it's like when you got people like going out of their way to like whether to give you a ride or like let you stay at their place, like making you really feel welcomed, right?
Yeah.
And what ASIRO for me at the time gave me was a community of people that I felt like will have my back even till this day. And I still feel this way. That's why I'm very thankful because a lot of my pledge bros, I've been either a best man or like a groomsman for their wedding, you know what I mean? And it's like I've been part of their lives for like the past 15 years. And it's a beautiful friendship that has evolved through whether after college too. It's like, okay, like obviously, after college, you start getting into the workspace and then like everyone starts moving on to whatever they want and being roommates, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to find them work, like putting in the work in the community.
Yeah. Can you share 2 memorable moments? One as a new member, and then one after, like as an active.
Okay. This one's a wild story, though. Okay, so basically, one of the biggest things we used to do as ASIRO was we used to go to friendship games.
Oh, friendship games.
Friendship games. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then so we were heading up to friendship games, and I was with my pledge bros, right? And
Friendship games is I think it's like where all colleges all over California, they meet up at CSU Fullerton, right?
Yeah.
yes, I
and
think
they
so.
just basically play all these kind of like
It's like Squid Games.
it's not really Squid Games,
But you don't die.
They're like physical games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they require like a lot of them require teamwork and stuff. And I think it's all the name of friendship. You get to meet people from other schools, and you get to see what other like college orgs are like. And I think I remember like ASAR is usually there for like security or something like that.
We participate, but I would say both. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so we were heading up to friendship games, and when you are stressed out and you are upset, like especially like when you're pledging, like sometimes things can get heated.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's raining. You know what I mean? It's like really bad weather. And then, so imagine this.
Imagining.
I was on the back seat, and 2 of my pledge bros are arguing in front of me.
Oh,
Okay.
Can you share who or no?
Do you want me to share?
That's up to you.
well, no,
That's up to
you can share it. He can always bleep it out later.
I can
Okay,
bleep it unless
okay.
you don't care.
No. So Alan was driving, and then there was our other pledge bro at the time.
Oh, I can see
And
that
then-
now. I can see it.
Yeah. And so basically, he was driving. Alan was driving his car, and basically he was like pissed off at because like wouldn't stop talking and yapping his mouth like. Wah, 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 wah.
Dude, his nickname was gonna be Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Before we were gonna give nicknames.
Yeah, Jabba is Jar.
Yeah.
Jar,
Oh, that's so funny.
So
Okay,
yeah,
so he's talking his ear off, and he doesn't like that or something like that.
he was really upset, right?
Yeah.
And this guy decides it would be a great idea to punch Alan in the face while he's driving. Bro.
Oh my God.
And I was like, dog, like, are you trying to kill us right now? Like, I can't handle this. And then, luckily, Alan, at the time, he just kind of like pulled over to the side, and he was like, hey, man, like,
What the
Backseat. Get to the backseat.
yeah, like, you are trying to kill us right now. Because if
and it's raining too.
Yes. And then it's like, yo, like, that was very irresponsible. Like, you could have cost not just you, but 2 other people, like, but I mean, I would say that was like a very like big learning moment that I saw. And I like the way that Alan handled it at the time.
Yeah.
And that's why I have mad respect and love for him. Shout out to Alan.
Yeah. He's
J-
definitely
though.
Oh, yeah.
he's grown through the years.
He's great for sure. But my favorite part of being active
Okay.
was when I created Sigma Shack with RJ Altares and Alan Padua. We had great memories in that house. We had a bunch of events. And I believe that when we crossed, we saw all these different like ASIRO houses, right? We could see that they each had their own character and they each had their own like vibe. And we wanted to create that. And that's what it taught us too, was like, you create your own legacy. And in order to do that is you have to actually like do it.
Yeah.
And the one thing I learned is if you don't do it, people will say, oh, like, yeah, we'll get to it. There's a lot of people who always get to it. But the ones who actually do it, rare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so a lot of great memories have been made at that, house as we created our friend group, HOV. That was like a side group. And then it's like we've traveled all over, the West Coast because the reason why we created HOV is because we were driving on the carpool lane a lot. Like
HOV. Okay.
And
That makes more sense.
it's another layer.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
all our nicknames were villains. I was Vader. Alan was like what, Sub-Zero, and then
In the fraternity.
in the fraternity,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then RJ was NWA.
Oh yeah.
So
Nice.
it was awesome. I would say those are like really fun times.
Crazy.
Oh, from college, you graduate, you go into this biotech and corporate life.
Yes.
What did that look like? How did you find that?
Okay, so rewind back to college. I was always trying different ways to make sure that, okay, like what if this plan doesn't work out, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
I always one of those people who had like 10 different like paths that I could envision for myself. And every time I made one decision, it took me away one step further, right? So originally I was trying to become a CLS.
What is a CLS?
A CLS is a clinical laboratory scientist.
Oh,
Okay.
So let's say you go to the hospital, right? You submit your pee somewhere and they look at it and they analyze it, or your blood. They'll be like, oh, this is how much lipids, or this is how much your blood count is, whatever. And those are the people that are doing that. They're basically testing human samples. And then I thought that was cool because Alan at the time, that was like his passion.
Yeah.
For me, I just wanted to do something that was like not your typical Filipino stereotype. I was
You didn't want to be a nurse.
Hell no. Originally, I came into SDSU as a nursing major.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Very tough.
Yeah,
Very
nursing
tough.
program's
It
tough. It's tougher
it
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tougher now. And I took one of the microbiology classes,
Yeah.
and I killed it.
Okay.
I became a teacher's assistant,
Wow.
and I was like, you know what? Maybe this is my calling.
Yeah.
Microbiology. So I changed my major to microbiology.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after I changed my major, I joined like Biotech Student Association.
Oh, nice.
So I was trying to prepare myself to like, how do I get a job in biotech? Because what I learned at the age of 21, that San Diego is one of the top 3 hubs in the US for biotech.
Yeah.
It's San Diego, San Francisco, and Boston. That's where the highest concentration of pharmaceutical and biotech companies are located, and where the most money is at. And there's the most skills too. So like what you'll notice happen is they'll try to recruit people from these areas to move into like some random town, like I don't know, College Station, Texas. I don't know where that is.
College.
Yeah.
That's
Is that a real town, or you just make that up?
No.
Okay,
that's
okay,
a real
okay.
town.
I don't know. You said some town. I was like, I don't know if you made that up.
It's like the smaller places want to like get in like some heavy hitters to like help develop that area.
Exactly.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes. Yeah, I got offered a couple of roles, like, in like the East Coast and like North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's over there? Mosquitoes? Yeah, so I was preparing myself to understand like what are my options, right? I feel like
Where do you want to
everyone-
go, right?
Yeah, where I want to go. And someone who has done a lot to try to find stability, I was like, okay, if I go biotech, it's like I at least will get a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like cool, like I'll be able to work. I'll maybe like, even if it might not be aligning with what I like, at least I'll be
You'll be able to
working.
support.
Yes,
right?
I'll be
especially as a
support.
father too.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Child support
Yeah.
was accruing, hey, Uncle Sam's like, hey, you better start paying. I was like,
I ain't about to be a
sorry.
deadbeat dad.
Yeah, hell no.
Yeah.
Is your daughter gonna watch this episode?
Maybe.
Oh,
Probably.
I'm just wondering. I always have to
I
ask.
don't know. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, she's gonna be like,
You're an open book though. So.
yeah, I've been very open
Yeah.
with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, yo, like, come on now. It's like, I got much love for you. Shout out to Michaela.
Daddy loves you.
Yeah, daddy loves you. But yeah, I mean, I think that, it's also very stressful graduating with student loan,
Yeah.
Yeah.
graduating with like no car. And then it's like, I had to
Oh.
get my own car. I had to
Yeah.
like, and the interest rates were just like, it's like everything that could crush your spirit
Yeah.
Right.
was like literally happening to me, bro. And I was like, man, like, how am I gonna get out of this? But
Yeah.
what I learned is like, if you create a plan and stick to it, you'll be able to kind of get your way if you stick to the plan. I think that Asaro taught me that, having a sucky situation is temporary, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's like pledging wasn't always great, but I knew that there was an end to it.
Yeah.
Biotech and corporate life is the same thing. It's like you may work these, lower roles that may not align with what you care for or want to do. But if you understand how to develop soft skills like leadership or like how to work with other people or being a problem solver.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you work corporate, a lot of the times people want someone that they can rely on, right? It doesn't matter if you're in the same department. It doesn't matter if you're getting paid less than what you do. A lot of people complain about like, oh, I'm not getting paid enough, so I'm going to do just enough.
Yeah.
But if you switch your mindset of, hey, like I have a short amount of time here until my next job, how much skills can I develop in the short time I have here until I move on? Because if you don't, you won't be able to get that bigger paycheck. And then it's like, people want promotions, people want this, but it's like sometimes
it's like you got to show it.
Yeah.
Right, before you.
Yeah, like you're
Like on your resume. That's your resume. These soft skills, they show up.
Yeah, like you're supposed to have. Okay, like what people don't understand is like, oh, I put in a lot of work, and it's like that's fair. I think that people who put in a lot of work are very reliable, but you have to understand like at what point is what is more important to you, money or finding the next role? Because if you have the mindset of I'm not gonna be here that long, but I want to develop the skills that I need, or maybe you just need money, right? It's like whether it's skills or money, it's up to you to decide. So for me, at an early age, I was like, okay, maybe I just need money. That was like okay, let's priority. That was at the top. I was like, okay, let me work, and I was like, I got bored easily after like maybe like my first 3 jobs was like 6 months because I was like, this sucks. Like I was only working for money, right? And I was like, this is not fun. This is not online. I don't see myself developing in this career path.
Right.
And then maybe in 2018, I got into a role where I was like in a production technician role in a clean room environment. And you will hear this from a lot of people who work corporate.
Okay.
I stay because of the people.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like a lot of times, sometimes the job might not pay well. The job might suck. But then it's the community that is there that makes it worthwhile. Like I feel like I hear that whether it's in corporate or whether it's like in restaurant business, it's like and that's another thing. While I was like during corporate and biotech, I was also working like part-time jobs just to like maintain. I was working at Taiguchi, RIP. Taiguchi, San Diego.
That was a spot in college too.
I mean, like everyone came there because of the vibe, and a lot of the like ASRO people was working there, and it's like it was like a what is it called? They just keep replacing them. They're like, the old one's getting old. Let's put new ones in.
They're like, there's the ASRO guys again.
It's like
different generation.
This small version is outdated. Let's upgrade.
Not gonna lie, whenever I would go there, like I didn't know that at the time. I remember I went there once, and everyone like recognized me. Like all my friends, were like, how do you know everyone here? Took all their pictures, man.
Sorry, corporate life, right?
Corporate life.
So I was saying, in my 20s, working corporate, working in a restaurant industry, I was just keeping myself busy, trying to pay off bills, trying to meet people, have fun, and like be a father. It's like I remember one of my favorite memories was when I actually had enough money saved to like take like my mom and my daughter out on like a trip, right?
Oh, nice.
It was like my first biggest trip with them, like that I paid for, right? I was
cool.
like,
that's a good feeling.
We went to Disney World like right after
COVID.
COVID.
Right after COVID,
dude. We had VIP feeling. Like there's
no one was there. Right?
No one was there. You had to be 6 feet away from people. So it's like
wait, this is during COVID or after? Like after
2021.
Oh, okay, so it's like on the downtrend, but it's still kind of there.
Yes. But still, you know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, yo, like hell yeah, Florida, let's go. Because my company was making drugs for hospitals and stuff. So I was in the safe industry at the time. And so I was like, damn, like, let's do this. You know what I mean? It's like, this is sick. And it was like, even I got to experience something that even I didn't get to experience as a kid. And that's why I learned it's like what being a parent is about is having those experiences with your children that you never had, because it's like it's both a learning experience for both of you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the crazy part is you got to do that with your daughter.
Yeah.
And your mom.
Yeah.
So imagine
Three
her
generations.
feeling
Yeah.
like her son took you to a place her maybe parents couldn't have.
Oh yeah. For
She
sure.
couldn't even go.
Crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like my mom is a very independent woman. She be traveling all over.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's like trying to be like some travel like
Vlogger.
vlogger. I was like trying to tell her, here, mom, use ChatGPT to give you prompts for your.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She goes viral and she has her own page and
I
everything.
know. That's what I told her. I was like, and she got like, she's buying all this like equipment. You know those 360 cameras?
Oh wow. She's into
Wow, she went all out.
Yeah. No, she's trying that. I was like,
that's
hey,
so cool.
I like that. Get it, mom.
Yeah.
Is she seeing that like on like reels and like
Yeah,
TikTok? She's like,
exactly.
I could do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So after going to Disney World and winning Father of the Year,
Yeah.
where did that take you? So biotech.
So yeah, biotech. So let's like I said, rewind back to like the ladder, right?
Right.
So I was doing like production.
Yeah.
Then eventually I found an opportunity as an associate scientist, and where I did a lot more validation, and then I got into quality control. So I was just like
Just making your way up, right?
I was just testing. I was literally looking at different aspects or like different departments, and I was like, let me try this one out. Let me try this one out. And then because there's so much opportunities here in San Diego when it comes to biotech, right? And I don't see it going away anytime soon because of like the infrastructure. Like what ends up happening is like, okay, some companies invest in like a pharmaceutical company, then another big bank take a little bank. You know what I mean? It's like they'll come in, they'll buy out that company, and it happens all the time. And so I moved up to like a microbiologist. So at one point I was actually, my title was microbiologist.
Yeah.
And that was so cool because I was able to achieve what I feel like a lot of people graduate not doing what they studied. Right?
Oh yeah.
And
That's
it's
how it
like
goes, right?
it's how it goes. And for me, I was like, wow, like I actually got to do something that aligned with what I studied.
Yeah.
And you know, I learned a lot about leadership, you know, and I applied again to a different one, Ajinomoto, which was like in Torrey Pines, but I think they just got acquired by they're working now with PCI Pharma Services. But basically, that was where I had my opportunity to actually be like a supervisor.
Nice.
And I went from like lead to supervisor, but like getting that promotion, understanding like the company politics and dynamics. I mean, it's tough, man. It's like a dog eat dog world when you get to that level because you're making the big bucks. So how do you keep it? That's
You got to justify what you're doing.
Exactly. And then you got to be putting in a lot of work. And it's like, it takes a toll on your mental health. Like, I would say in 2023, that was kind of like how I started feeling like I had less time with my daughter because I was working like second shift. And I was not doing well. I felt like I wasn't able to see her more. She didn't want to see me. It was like, there's like all these like.
Well, she's like a teenager now.
But it's like, you know, it's very like a lot of negative dynamic that was happening behind the scenes. And I didn't know how to handle it at the time because I was only like 30, right? 29, 30. And it's like, yo, like I'm trying to navigate through my emotions when I myself haven't fully understood how to navigate through my own emotions. I feel like that's an ongoing thing that a lot of people go through. Right?
Especially in your 20s.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, like what the heck? How do I deal with this? And so I was going through, like I would say, depression. And I was questioning a lot of the decisions I made. And I was like,
am I doing the right thing?
Am I doing the right thing?
Should I keep going?
Am I prioritizing the right thing? It's like, is this even worth it? You know what I mean? And so I will say that, you know, in 2022 or 2023, no, 2022 was the year before 23.
Yes. That's how years work.
Didn't.
So
Unless you got a
So-
time machine.
Yeah.
you know?
So this is where I actually tried an alternative medicine to help with my mental health.
Okay.
I try. Well, it's not the first time I tried it,
Yeah.
but it is a very impactful time that I did try it. So I tried mushrooms.
I was gonna say, was
Again.
it like a
Yes, I tried mushrooms, and it helped me be able to not feel sad again. I actually felt like a child again.
Oh, nice.
This childlike state where things excite you again.
Yeah.
Because as an adult, I feel like sometimes we just think about like we got to deal with this.
You just get worn
Like,
down, right?
Yeah, it's like, dude, I got to deal with this. I got to do this. I got to do this. But when you have a childlike mind, it's like, oh man, like you get
I get to do
excited.
this.
I get
Yeah.
to. You get excited and passionate, and that's when I would say like I got into Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I brought some here with us today that we can rip later. But
Oh, we get to open packs?
yeah, like
all right.
I got box, bro.
Yeah, all right. We get to open packs.
So Carldee brought Pokemon cards, and then he brought a briefcase filled with mushrooms. So
We're all going to try mushrooms live on the podcast.
we're all gonna be kids again.
No, I brought
No,
some
but for real.
cards.
Well,
Please. Commercial break.
It just goes into
we'll be
black.
right back. It's that, what was it, like the Indian head, like, please stand by. No, but he brought he did bring a suitcase,
Yeah.
but it is filled with,
My collection.
Yeah.
Oh, should we transition into that then?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
that.
Let's go. Okay.
yeah.
So basically, like I mentioned, I had got
pretty big
back
box
into-
here.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
back into Pokemon. And so after I got back into Pokemon,
Oh my God, yeah, you got them graded and
yeah,
stuff.
this
Oh,
one I just
shoot.
picked up like
Yeah.
this one I just picked up like recently.
Look at that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to
so
pick up
here-
your briefcase to show the?
Yeah, I
Okay,
got it,
which
I got
way
it.
do I want to do it?
Yeah.
We'll do
No,
it.
no, okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
And Brian drops all of it.
They're all flying in the air.
They're all bent. This is
They can't get bent. He's got them in the clear cases. In
I got him.
And
I
what's that
got
one
him
show?
braided.
Make a deal or
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Let's
what do you
make
call
a
it?
deal.
Let's
Let's make a deal. Yeah.
Briefcase number 5.
So I got back into Pokemon, and I started like collecting. I went into, like on a collecting spree, bro. Like I got back into
Right.
Lost Origins, and then this is where I will show you my most prized possession.
Oh, we're gonna be able to hold it.
Yeah, I will. And so
It's in case, so
this
it's
is-
fine.
this
Can we
is-
take it out of case?
No, this guy.
This is the card that was the top chase card for when the set that I got back into collecting Pokemon. And
So
it's
chase
this
card's like
card
the
right here.
like what the card that people were looking
Dang,
for.
This is like
Oh.
It's
this
a
is-
grade 10 too.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
yes.
you got PSA grade 10.
Yes.
That's
So,
crazy.
basically that's like Giratina V. I created that I made a deck like at that time because that was like what was like the chase card.
Oh, it's
you know what I mean?
Giratina, yeah.
Yeah, and look at the
Legendary.
artwork.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
like
like,
it's
it's
gnarly.
gnarly, bro.
The
Like
foiling is really nice on it. Too.
Damn, how do you get a grade 10? That's crispy.
it was crazy. So
Yeah.
I actually bought the card and I
Okay.
submitted it myself
Yeah.
to PSA through GameStop.
That's crazy. Can you describe the process to, I guess, get it graded?
There are multiple ways to get your cards graded nowadays. You could either go through GameStop or you could.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yes, so you could either do GameStop or you could do it yourself, but you have to purchase a subscription with PSA. Sometimes those ones take longer than if you were to go through GameStop because GameStop has like their system down, you know.
Yeah.
But basically, when you go to a GameStop near you, they will have a process where, okay, you're going to need to put your card into a penny sleeve see-through card like sleeve. And then they put it into a card saver. It's like this very thick material. It's not like this top loader. It's actually called a card sleeve. And so you put your card in there and what ends up happening is you submit maybe like, I don't know, 20 cards. I don't know, up to whatever you want. You can submit as much as you want.
Yeah.
But you're paying premium
card?
basically per card. So you pay maybe like $20 a card if you're
To get it graded.
to get it graded.
Yeah.
And if you, I'll get to that part. But so you pay like $20 a card. GameStop will send it out to PSA on your GameStop app. It will tell you like at what point is it at, has it been picked up, or is it ready to be graded?
Yeah.
Is it at PSA? And then when they finish grading it, you'll be able to tell ahead of time what your grades are.
Yeah.
shoot.
And then,
that's cool.
Yeah, and so then when you get your grades, you'll be able to when it says it's ready for pickup, you'll be able to pick it up, and then you'll be able to get, most of them I've been able to either grade myself or kind of like, kind of submit it. But here, let me.
Do they send it back with these?
Like I said, I really like this Pokemon, Giratina.
Giratina is his favorite, yeah.
Yeah, I collected a lot of Giratinas.
Do they come back with these?
Red.
The red, like it's like a barcode.
Oh yeah, it comes like basically it comes in that slab. So
Pass one.
in Pokemon TCG collector terms, this is called a slab. You know what I mean?
This
like
thing?
this graded card. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
So it helps protect it. But what's cool is there's other grading companies like Beckett. I actually went through Beckett when I first started because they keep the card preserved. They keep the cards, they put it in a card sleeve, so when it's encased, it's like,
another
level of keeping it preserved.
These are all like 10s.
I know. Oh shoot.
Can you describe like what makes a card a PSA grade 10? Like,
yeah.
And like, cause from my experience, like, and what I know of it, it's like, it's pretty easy for it to get knocked down.
Oh, for sure. Right? Yeah.
It's like, it comes down to like, even the slightest, it has to have the right printing on it.
Yes.
Like, even if it's like slightly off, then it's a difference between a 10 and a 9.5,
Yep. So they are graded on 4 characteristics. So centering is the major one, right? So there's like this 60-40 rule or like 70-30 back then, but basically the idea is how well it's centered, right? So
dang, this one's grade 11. How'd you do?
He wrote that himself because he graded it himself.
It's in colored pencil.
Yeah.
So like this is a non-graded card. This is an Umbreon EX from Terrestrial Festival. But like if you look at it, right? So you could look at the edges and see how well the centering is. Because if it's not well centered, you're not gonna get a 10.
Yeah.
The next one is the edges. So the edges, if obviously the edges aren't smooth or like the cut isn't well or like sometimes there's like whitening or whatever. And then the corners. So sometimes the corners are cut really bad.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not even. And then the last one is the surface. So if the surface is like, I don't know, dented or like there's a crease, they're going to be able to tell. And so there's currently about like 4 or 5 different grading companies. So PSA is the one that is well known.
Yeah.
Like
it's been around like the longest, I think, right?
Because they started with sports cards and like comics and everything.
They just got kind of grandfathered in.
And they got grandfathered in. Yeah, everyone started submitting through them.
Yeah.
Then you got your Beckett, right? Beckett grading system. That one has been very popular because a Beckett 10 is really expensive. Like they have this thing called black labels. Like my friends have like black labels are pristine. So a black label card from Beckett goes 10x the amount of a PSA 10.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So imagine like a Giratina, right? The one that I showed you. There's a PSA 10 from Lost Origin. So Giratina probably is current market 1,200, 1,300. Before it used to be 1,700.
Yeah.
It dropped actually. But
is it demand or
because supply and demand, right? Like obviously it can't just keep going up. It just doesn't work.
It's gonna
that way.
depreciate.
Yeah, it's gonna dip. It's gonna have its dip, but it's not gonna go lower than it was before.
Right. Okay.
Because one of the reason why I like this card is it's really hard card to grade. And there's not a lot. It's very hard to pull.
It's rare too.
It's very rare, yeah. And so like I said, Beckett has this black label cards, right? And maybe I believe since they're so rare, I would say maybe like 10K for a black label. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Talking about like the pricing, what would you say is the most expensive card that you have
come on.
in your collection?
For me right now, I would say my most expensive card is that Giratina one, the first one I showed you.
PSA grade 10, yeah.
PSA 10, yeah. I wanted, like, I have my wish list of cards that I would want, but I know that there's this debate, right? There's people who are Pikachu fans, Charizard fans.
Yeah.
Charizard is always gonna be like
Gen 1.
the most like expensive card. Like
Okay.
till this day right now, it's like that's the most common expensive card, right? Like the old school ones. It's like compared to a Pikachu. But one of the most expensive cards in history was like a Pikachu Illustrator card.
For how much?
The general people, it's the one that what is it called? Logan Paul bought.
Oh wow.
It was like 5-6 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. It was like millions of dollars.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then it's crazy. He spent that much money on that card, but
that's nuts.
I don't know.
And then he played with it.
Yeah, he got it in like a necklace. He got blinged out and everything. But yeah, I would say there's a lot of celebrities also, whether it's NFL players, Steve Aoki, man. You know, even Chumlee from freaking
Pawn Stars. Yeah,
bro. They're like all these people are like getting into Pokemon, and then it's like
because they see dollar signs.
They see dollar signs, dollar bills, y'all. Like, and I think that's what keeps the hobby going, right? There's a lot of avenues of revenue.
Yeah.
And when you have different avenues of revenue, you're able to really expand the market. Because if you think about this, Pokemon is its own company.
Yeah.
But you got all these people doing your marketing for you. Like, you don't need to pay for marketing if you think about it.
Known.
They literally release them. They have to be so secretive, because if they don't, it's going to get leaked. And then like all these people are going to be like, it's like,
they make that sound effect.
Yeah. Or do you want it to burp?
Let's talk about, because I know you were at was it a card show? What do you call it?
Oh yeah, I was at a card show. I was with Wilson Tran at SD Collectibles. It was our first tabling event yesterday. Obviously it went better than expected, because we were going against Front Row Card Show. So they're a very well-known traveling card show event. Yeah. They had over 400 tables, and we were here in a dinky with like maybe 50 tables. Like, you know, we're lucky, right?
Yeah.
And it's like we had enough traffic though that we actually were able to trade some good cards and like sell some of the smaller cards. So I felt like I was prepared for this event, because obviously I was not prepared to be a vendor into the extent of like, you know, hey, like I want to like try to sell what the market wants, right? I'm still trying to figure out what kind of market do I want to get into, right? Because obviously being a TCG collector, you have your families, right? You got like, whether it's like low income, high income, whatever. Then you got like those kids that are like trading, like, trade up challenges, or like you have some people who are like, oh yeah, I got some heat, but I need this. So it's like there's so many ways to like approach this collection. And it's crazy if you think about how much money is involved. I see people on my like Silphco account, they're like making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 deals. Bro, like they're selling like old school booster boxes, like from Gen 1, like the first editions. You know what I mean? That's where the money's at. Like I don't blame them, but if you think about it, like having that network and like being able to sell it, right? Because like you may be able to find that product, but if you can't sell, you can't find a buyer. That's the hardest part. And so you have to be at these card events. You have to be at these card shows.
You gotta be just out there, you know?
Exactly. You like, I know one of these guys too, like Derek, he was a bro from ASIRO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he created a Pokemon account with his
old school
friend.
bro?
No, he's more new school.
Okay, got it.
He created this mini series called Turning 10 bands to 100 bands. And then like
turning 10 bands into
I think I know what you're talking about now.
And him and his business partner are like killing it. Like they have over $110,000 worth of inventory now.
Wow.
Shoot.
And I watched the journey, and I was like, it's funny because like 2 years ago he was like asking me all about it, and like that was like when he was still kind of like iffy about it, because he was like, oh, like I've been watching all these videos, like I don't know if it's a sustainable like like business. And I was like, I get it. It's like it's difficult because Pokemon comes in waves. There's like there's the hype, and then the hype dies down, then all the prices drop, right? It's like the stock market. It's like you can invest on certain cards that you think may pop off, or you can invest in cards that you know will hold its value, because whether they're a chase card or whether or not like they're rare, right? So obviously the cards that are more hyped, or you kind of have to understand where the market is and how to like corner it and who you want to approach. And so that's kind of like what I've learned throughout the years is I just wanted to make content of like Pokemon because I really liked it, But obviously there's also a business side to it. And it's like, how do I, make money off something I'm passionate about? So Wilson and I put together all our collection, and not a lot of people bought sealed products yesterday. I was very surprised, but it's because a lot of other people were also having sealed products.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough. So, but the one thing that I've learned that will really make you different is your single cards. Because if you have singles, so like this card right here.
You misplaced it.
Oh no.
It's in Art's pocket right now.
He heard the dollar sign.
Yeah,
Like,
he
I'm
said,
gonna take
"What?"
this.
He took the 11 one.
It's probably somewhere in between.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, there it
it's
is.
right
Yeah,
here,
yeah. Okay.
Okay, so like this card, someone traded this card to me.
It's Umbreon
yesterday.
EX.
Yeah. I had an Umbreon B, and then like also they traded me. Oh, sorry. Also, they traded me this other card too. It's pretty cool. Like, imagine like Ho-Oh. You guys remember Ho-Oh?
Yeah.
Oh,
From the original. Yeah.
From the original.
Yeah,
So
original
like
151.
someone traded me that, and I was like,
wow,
oh,
that's in
dude.
What did you
too.
trade for it for?
So I traded PSA 10 Umbreon V, and
For
then no. So I traded a PSA 10 Umbreon V. Oh wait, that was mine. And then I got in return an Umbreon EX, which is the one I showed earlier with like the sun in the background.
Yeah.
And then we got Ho-Oh. And then I also got this Pikachu PSA 10.
These dents are on the plastic, right? Yeah, they're on the plastic. Yeah.
I was like, I didn't see that earlier, right?
No, there's like these little pock marks. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, there's like pock marks on me.
And
But I'm
then
pretty sure it's from the
and then
card
I
sleeve.
traded for this also.
Yeah.
And then he gave me like $65 on top of it.
Damn, dude, that's
This is like a full
crazy.
scene. This one's like,
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
sick. That Pikachu one is pretty sick.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Some people collect for the art. Some people collect for
Yes.
the value.
Yes.
Some people
Collect
like
to
the thing
play.
is with the thing is with like Pokemon's like everyone's got like a favorite Pokemon.
Yeah.
No matter how old you are. And for some of these, especially like for people like Carldee and stuff like that, it's like you reconnect a part of your childhood. Like maybe you grew up during the Pokemon card craze, you couldn't get the cards.
Yes.
So now
That's
you're
exactly how I
Yeah.
felt. Like when I had gotten
good
back
art.
into collecting, I was like, oh my God. My very first video on like TikTok was just me and the pictures and videos of like me buying stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like how much I spent. I was like, dog, I just spent like $500 in Pokemon. You ever seen the meme where it's like this big dude? He's like, why did you spend $1,000 in Pokemon? If you're trying to catch them all, I'm trying to catch them all. If they're serious, they should be spending $1,000. I forgot.
And that was you, huh?
Yeah, at the time I was like, yo, like it be like that
Yeah.
though. Because the whole idea is like what Brian said is I think when we hit our 30s, we tend to chase nostalgia more than drugs. You know what I mean? Like we like the feeling of looking back because it gives us the endorphins of, hey, like this feels good. That nostalgia makes us feel alive. It makes us feel like we matter. You know, it's like, dog, like that didn't happen for no reason.
Dude, the other day I was looking at this and it might come here in this room, a TMNT like Banksy type of figurine.
Ooh.
Okay.
You know that Banksy picture where the graffiti artist is throwing
Yeah, he's throwing a Molotov, but it's a flower,
Yeah.
a bouquet of flowers.
it's like a black and white Raphael
Oh, Raphael.
with the red bandana with a pizza box. He's basically
He's in the same
throwing-
pose.
Same
He's in the
pose,
same
but
pose,
it's a
yeah.
pizza box.
Yeah.
And those figurines are like up there.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of-
collectors, what was it? Collectible figurines is another kind of market as well.
Yeah,
right?
people are collecting that.
Yeah.
I've seen Rugrats, just like figurines, like
Nostalgia.
from your
There's
childhood.
money in
Yeah.
nostalgia. Yeah.
I mean, you seen the 40-year-old virgin?
Yeah.
Remember?
I'm looking
He
at
sold
it.
it.
In the mirror?
I was like, wait, he has a daughter. He has physical proof.
No, what is it called? Like,
Yeah, what about for you?
remember 40-year-old virgin? He had like his collection.
Oh,
he had
yeah.
the biggest collection, bro.
Yeah.
He was like,
I don't want to sell this.
Yeah.
It's something that
freaks
you
out,
love,
yeah.
right?
bro, I be seeing that though. Like, I get it. There's some people out there I could totally see it. Bro.
I'm gonna watch that now after.
Yeah, you
this.
should. But there's a lot of so a lot of the people that came out to the show yesterday were families, right? It's
Yeah.
like it would be parents that would be like bringing their kids who like they probably don't want to spend that much, but they're willing to spend like a couple bucks, right?
Right.
And it's like if it makes their kid happy, then cool. Like at least they didn't buy anything that would be like wasteful either, because it's like I know like for me the number one successful sales that I had was my dollar binders for kids, right?
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
cool.
Yeah.
and then whenever like they pick up like 5 cards or so, I'll give them like free pins, you know,
Yeah.
something that.
Or an energy card.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Wait, do you, I talked about this last episode, but like in Japan.
A grade 10. A grade 10 energy card.
You know what's crazy? Okay, check it out. Someone was drawing on energy cards and
Oh,
making
really?
artwork
Art?
off
I
it.
Oh,
can
that's
see
cool.
that.
And
Yeah.
then-
Custom art, yeah.
Yeah, and then
So reselling
PSA, and then PSA started grading them too.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because it's like an original art piece. At
Yeah.
that point.
But they use the
Wow.
energy as a bag.
Yeah.
That's
And that's like the
crazy.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they draw stuff in front of it, or like paint, or maybe.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
Ryan.
Yeah, but like I was saying before, like last episode I mentioned when I went to Japan,
Ooh,
my
Japan.
friend would go to all the card shops and stuff like that, and he would get these, like I think it's like for like 150 yen, it was like a pack of like 50 cards, but
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like random, so you don't know what you're getting.
Yes.
Right? You ever think about kind of like doing that? Like you pack a bunch of stuff, maybe. You
Yeah.
put something
I
in
thought
there.
I did
Yeah.
do that for a minute.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, what I've learned, at least for you know, like I've thought about that first like 2 years ago too. Like I literally did the exact same
Oh, okay.
thing.
Yeah.
But the thing that I found I struggled with was like people wanting to pick it up, right? And then it was just like I had to kind of like make it more of a gamification.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like I've noticed that people tend to like want to purchase more of like through games than it is like just the buying the blind box or like what not blind box like
Like a
the
blind pack,
boxes,
like a
right,
blind pack,
yeah.
like unless you're a well known, you know. I mean, I'm just
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
it's hard
not-
to do that when you're like less.
Correct.
well-known,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So, but while you know we're in the topic of Japanese packs, I got some
Yeah.
booster box right here.
Right,
I'm gonna
right.
I'm hand out some packs to
Yeah, we're gonna-
everybody.
Let's go.
Let it rip.
Oh, hey.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
How we gonna do this?
So this one, I actually got this gift from Alan Perdue when he went to
What?
Tokyo.
That's
Oh,
cool.
hey.
Yeah.
For retail?
He bought it at the Pokemon
Wow.
Center. So
That's
this is
cool.
straight from Japan. So basically, this is what y'all gonna do, right?
Okay.
No. You.
Oh, all of them?
Yeah,
Oh,
because there's only 5 at
together.
a time, and then we're gonna take them out, and then so we'll go through all of them.
You said cut the top.
Just cut the top,
Yeah.
like yeah.
You gotta like go like, you know, when you like open a ramen.
Oh.
The ramen seasoning.
The ramen seasoning, yeah.
And then you
That's
take
all.
out the 5. Yep. So yeah, you just take it out. Have the first card showing.
Yep. First card showing.
First card showing.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? And then so basically, you just take out one.
One at a time.
Now we got
Electabuzz.
Okay, and then
The last
three.
one is the rare.
Ooh, I
or
got
the-
right.
Oh, you got a
right
foil
on,
one, yeah.
I don't think I got
Okay.
a special one.
So we didn't get any hits yet.
Yeah, so no
Yeah.
hits. Yeah.
So no hits.
You want to do one more, or like, do you think we
Guys-
can move on?
Let's do one more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
When
we
they
can
when
decide.
they pack these, is it like a certain card that's usually the one?
Yeah, like what Brian said.
Yeah,
the third one,
I think it's like the last one.
Yeah,
It's
last,
usually the last
4
one.
or 5.
last one.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
4 or
yeah,
5.
Yeah. But this is like, I think this is what they usually do at the card shops. That's why they have like the 150. They just you know, whatever they don't want, they just put it in a pack
Yeah.
and resell it
Correct,
as like a
yeah.
thing. Yeah. So we're cutting another pack here. Artist cutting really low, close to the card again. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I feel like I'm barely cutting the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
All right, let's
Got a fighting
go. We
Pokemon,
only got
that's cool.
5, so we Gucci.
Yeah.
All right, we got
Okay.
who?
Okay.
My horn.
Okay. Oh, Score Bunny.
Oh,
Slowpoke.
not for me.
See?
Electabuzz.
Oh, I got a.
Hey,
I got a
Oh, you
I got a
pulled
foil.
one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shown. Dash
Yeah.
bun.
You want to
Dash
show that?
bun.
Show
Yeah.
them.
Show
Sure.
Dash bun.
Got this guy again.
It's a foil dash bun.
Oh, and then that again.
EX.
Oh shoot, Blue Eyes White Dragon.
This one?
So
Yeah.
originally, Silphco is like the store that the company in Pokemon that would come out with a bunch of like Pokemon. They would sell all the Pokemon items, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Silphco was the company that was selling to Pokemarts and stuff.
Yep.
So they would make like the
Oh.
potions,
I remember
the
that now.
Pokeballs,
Got it.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like they created Porygon. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I get it.
There's a lot of lore behind
There's a lot
Silphco.
of lore behind Silphco, and I
Giovanni.
think that yep,
Yeah,
Giovanni.
I remember now.
And
Okay.
so basically the idea was, okay, you know, I think that I want to, at the time I was like, it'd be such a cool idea to sell a bunch of Pokemon stuff. And like, I actually had pins that I bought too back then. And that's why I said I was just giving it away at this point. Cause I took a 2-year hiatus in Pokemon because I got into the mushroom business for a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, I realized that I was like, okay, you know what? It's cool that I learned a lot of different things in business from, you know, getting into the mushroom game. But what I learned is that I was more passionate about like Pokemon because
Yeah.
it was something that I was already like familiar with.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've played throughout my whole life.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned is when you get into business is, yes, it's okay to come in with optimism of continuously wanting to learn,
Yeah.
but you will always have an edge when you are actually passionate about something that you've been doing for a longer
Yep.
time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's harder to kind of jump into something and try to be great at it without prior experience or at least motivation.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
First gen, who's your starting Pokemon?
My very first game
So
was
there's
Pokemon Blue.
Okay.
Oh, you got blue.
And then I got Silver.
okay.
So you already know I got Blastoise. Big
Yeah.
man Blastoise.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? So
Respectable. Yeah.
I was always picking him because it's like, bro, like I can defeat Venusaur with Blastoise. It's hard. Like if you had a Charizard, you're going against Blastoise. You always your rival always pick like
The opposite.
opposite.
It was more opposite, yeah.
And like now the newer Pokemon
Yeah.
games, they pick the weaker version.
Wait, really?
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't played the
It's
new ones. yet.
whack.
Oh, wow.
So like, okay, if you pick like grass,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they'll pick water.
Okay.
Your rival will pick like
Why?
yeah,
I don't know.
because they want kids to have participation trophies, feeling like they're
yeah.
like you're so good, you're so strong. You know how hard we had to grind to level up to level 10. I had to defeat like 100 Caterpies to become level 10.
So Squirtle, water type.
Yep.
Charmander, fire type.
Yes,
And then Bulbasaur, grass type.
Yep.
yes.
And so I think what the old version taught you is you need other people on your team
Yeah.
Yes.
to have a well-rounded team to beat that other
Oh,
person.
for
Yeah.
sure.
But now if you have,
You know, if they're already strong against you.
yeah, so it's like, okay, well, I can beat them at any time
yeah.
until you start like going into like the Elite Four or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Other
even
gym
then, I
machines.
feel like they've made it so much like easier. But
Yeah.
the thing is, though, there is competitive Pokemon
Oh, yeah.
battles.
Yeah.
Like I've gone to a Pokemon like competition. San Diego, I believe in 2023 had a TCG and also the VCG
Okay.
or VGC, sorry, video game
Yeah.
championship.
Yeah.
So and Pokemon Go. So like they had
Oh, wow.
so
Yeah.
people would compete with their Pokemon that they've caught. And like in the VGC, like people would compete like with
Video
Pokemon they
game,
caught.
yes.
Yeah, the video game
Yeah.
championship. And then the TCG, I've also played like the card game. Like
Yeah.
there was like over 1,000 people that came out in like the convention center and played. It was so fun because it's like it's very nerve wracking because
It's a competition.
Everyone's watching too.
competition. Yeah. If you're really good, and you could tell when someone's really good.
Yeah.
You get because of the way
Their
they
hats
shuffle
backwards.
their
Yeah.
they're, no,
That's backwards.
they're shuffling their cards a certain way.
Yeah.
They're like the the mannerisms of how to play is just way different. You could feel like their energy. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine if real life was just like how they did Pokemon, or like anime, where it's like you put a card and it's like.
Or like Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh, that's Yu-Gi-Oh. That's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, even when it comes to like the Pokemon battles, you know how they
or Pokemon exist in real life.
I mean, I've seen people develop that technology right now,
like
for
a green
Yu-Gi-Oh.
screen.
Yeah, so basically they
it's like
have
VR. It's AR.
like
it's
hologram.
The augmented reality stuff.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, they already have in VR, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like
in
in AR would be like super sick, you know, to see.
Oh yeah.
When you think about like how far we've come in technology, like you can actually like play VR in VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to VR the thing. It'd be kind of like that, you know?
A zombie game,
Yeah.
Pokemon zombie game.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be crazy.
All right, random fun. We like to play games on the show, such as this or that. Would you rather? Name your price. One must go. Pick your poison. Most likely to. This episode, we're playing Interesting Thoughts.
He's still opening packs.
Art?
that's my favorite word. Interesting. All right. Interesting Thoughts is a party game where players are hit with thought-provoking questions. Sorry, big tongue.
Ladies.
Questions and take turns giving their answers. The game plays out over 3 rounds, giving everyone a chance to dive into each question and share their take, whether it's deep, weird, or laugh out loud hilarious. Let's play.
First question. How has travel made you a better person?
So we'll go Carldee, then we'll wrap around.
Which way?
Either way.
Okay,
So
okay.
guess always goes first.
Okay. I have a fun traveling story.
Man's full of stories.
I love it. So I have a pledge bro named Andre,
Okay.
and I visited him in Japan.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Recently?
Maybe in 2020. It was like literally right before COVID.
Got it. Okay.
And
The
so,
before times.
so how this I'm gonna start with how this situation made me a better person.
Yeah.
Is I learned how you can get a temporary passport in case you lose it in another country.
Nice.
So if you're ever in Japan and if you have lost
Your
your
passport.
passport,
Yeah.
this story's for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking from experience.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah.
So I visited my pledge bro Andre in Japan, and over there he is a English teacher by day and a rapper by
What?
night. Yeah.
That's
Whoa,
cool.
that's a
So
story
he
for
showed
another
me.
time, yeah.
He showed me like basically where he performs and like
Oh,
this
that's
bar
cool.
that he plays, or like basically he would perform at.
Yeah.
And you know, I got really plastered, and he kept hooking me up with some drinks. And my flight at the time was maybe like 10:30 p.m. I was just there for a layover for Philippines.
Oh.
And one thing in Japan is they're very on point with like when the timing, right? Of like when you get off the things.
Yep.
And it's very confusing as a first timer to understand their train system. I can't read like Japanese.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was drunk. I was on the train. I was just rocking back and forth. And then next thing I know, I wake up in the middle of bum F nowhere. I was like, dog, it's dark. Like, you know, like in those scary stories, like, where is this train going? Why didn't it stop? Like, and then like,
You have direct.
I got out, and then my ticket wasn't working because in Japan, your ticket you pay for is
Like for how many stops or whatever.
exactly.
Wow.
So I had to hop over the freaking like thing. I was like, I don't know what's going on right now. And I was looking at Japanese people. I was like, excuse me, do you know where I am? And they're like, Nani desu ka? What do you want? You know what I mean? Like I was like so panicked. I was like scared.
Yeah.
I was like,
You're so drunk.
You're still drunk.
I was drunk, and then I was like, oh my God, I am late to my flight. So I take a taxi. I get to the airport.
Haneda or Narita?
Haneda.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Narita?
HND.
Oh, that's Haneda.
Yeah. And I get to Haneda airport, and it was closed. Like the airport, I didn't know the airport's closed.
Yeah.
I assumed they were open 24 hours, but that was my fault. And I was like, dude, why is it closed? And
Like
then,
no one's around, or they
like,
just
no,
closed
like
the front.
no one's around.
It's like
Yeah.
the gate
It's like-
agent or ticketing agents leave. Security.
Dang.
There's like one information person
Oh.
who's there, but like she was trying to explain to me that I had to go to the police station. I was like, what the heck? Why? Why do I gotta go police? And she was like, no, like you need a police report that you need to bring to the U.S. Embassy in order to get your temporary passport. So I had to wait at the U.S. Embassy when they opened up first thing in the morning. So what I did was I went to the police station that was closest to the airport. I got one of their written letters with their stamp on it, because Japanese love their stamps.
Yeah.
And then I took that paper and then I waited at a Lawson. Because like Lawsons are open 24 hours, man.
Convenience store. It's a convenience store.
Convenience store. They even had like a smoking section and everything. But basically, I waited at Lawson's till they opened up. And then I went to the U.S. Embassy. Luckily, I was a U.S. citizen. I got to cut in line. I was like,
oh wait, so like there's other people that aren't U.S. citizens, so they're just chilling there.
So everyone else was in line for the U.S. Embassy, probably to get a visa or something.
Before they leave.
Before
to go
they leave,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And then
You
so
got
I
the
was
citizen
like,
fast pass.
I did. I felt like I was in Disneyland.
They're like, you're one of our people.
You're like you're a citizen. Come in.
Yeah, come on down.
Yeah, come on down.
Coffee, water, anything.
You need a massage?
Hot towel.
Yep.
Yeah. So you got fast passed in.
Yes, I got fast passed in. I was able to get my like temporary passport in like an hour. Like it wasn't that long. And they even had like a photo booth for you to take your passport pictures.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, so they're like, we know you need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I was able to get my temporary passport, I was able to rebook another flight at a later time. And then I was like, cool, like I can get out of Japan now. So
That's a hell of a story, man.
how has travel made me a better person? I know where to find the U.S. Embassy
In Japan.
in Japan.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
For me, I think I've explained before too. It's like I've always been traveling ever since I was little because my parents love to travel, right? So I've seen a lot of things since growing from. I think I was like probably the youngest I've traveled was like when I was like 8 or 9. So it's just basically just seeing how other people live and not just where we are in our way over here. Because a lot of times, if like for people or the way I see it is that if you grow up in a place and you don't see anything else, you just think the whole world acts like this area because that's all you know, right? So it's like when I was like 9, I got to go to the Philippines for the first time.
Hell yeah.
And out of the country. And, I got to see how people live there. I got to see how my, I guess, extended family, you don't know, like how they live and like what their day-to-day is and stuff like that. I got to fight with scorpions. So, we would like let them fight each other.
With the stick?
Yeah, you know. Yeah, that was fun. But, and then I guess like, I think it was like around 2001 or whatever, I got to go like overseas to like Europe. So I got to see like, European castles and like all that stuff. So, but just travel in general just told me like how a lot of people live. And then I think also when I was with the band, we got to travel a lot, like East Coast and stuff like that. I got to see how the other side of the US, same country, but every single state here is like its own different country. Even California is like 3 different countries in itself. You go to NorCal is different from SoCal. And in the middle parts is all different too. And then you break it down even further, San Diego, like it's all different. So San Diego's a really big city.
Like Oceanside culture and Chula Vista culture.
Yeah.
All different.
Yeah. And you got the east side too, like everyone's just different. So travel made me a different like a better person just because I got to see perspectives through how other people live and what other ways of life there is and how people just make it through life and where they are at.
I'll piggyback off Brian because mine was my trip to the Philippines after high school. Like, it opened my eyes to just the way we're living. Like we're so spoiled here.
Oh yeah.
We're so spoiled. Like I remember seeing a group of kids like in their clothing and slippers, and like you see them like dirty from like because the roads there, a lot of them are not paved.
They're dirt.
No.
And they're dirt. And sometimes when you're driving, and I sat like in the front seat, and someone drove by a residential area, right?
Yeah.
And they're going, 80, 70 miles per hour?
There's no speed limit,
and there's
dude.
kids there, kids, dogs. What do? They just honk the horn if they see you from far away.
If they see you.
If they see you.
Yeah.
But the one thing that like my another eye-opening experience that I had was just seeing how kids like grew up there and had so much like joy in the simplest things.
Oh yeah.
Like for example, I remember, I forget what they're called, but some person was selling those plastic balloons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we bought all the kids in the neighborhood like plastic. It was dirt cheap.
The one that with the tube
that.
and then like
and you blow
Yeah,
it.
you blow it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
chemical. Like,
Yeah. You think it's gum, but it's not.
Yeah. And so the dude had like this big board, and we said we'll get all of it because it was like, I don't know how much our dollar was at the time.
It's usually around 50 pesos.
Yeah,
It's $1.
And this was like right after high school, right? They're having fun over there, and then we started playing basketball with the neighborhood kids too. And we're in slippers. Just like,
Dude, some of them go barefoot.
yeah,
It's
and they're
crazy.
good.
Yeah, and they're really good.
good.
Yeah.
And just to have that much fun in like the simplest things, like, and just to see like how lives are different in in different countries, like I'm more appreciative, if anything.
Did you use a tabo while you were there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the water was cold.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, you gotta explain what is a tabo.
Tabo is like a bucket with a handle, and then you put the water in that
You just
bucket.
dip it. You dip it in the bucket.
Yeah,
You
you dip it, or you
pour it
have
on
like
yourself.
a pump that you have to like, pump up, and then you put like you pour it on your back sometimes.
we just pour it on you, dude. Yeah.
No, when you're taking a dump.
Oh, yeah, that one too. That
Sometimes
one
it
too.
gets on your back.
It's the old
you
school
take it-
bidet.
Yeah.
Manual bidet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, use a tabo also. It's like to take a shower.
Yeah, to take a shower,
Yeah,
too.
bath. Yeah.
How about you, Art?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it all falls in line, right? Just seeing like different walks of life, different cultures, experiencing new things. I think it gives you like a different perspective. It keeps your mind open, I think, to different ideas, which helps.
Yeah.
But I think it also kind of teaches you about like how to handle things on your own. And especially if you're in like a foreign place, or if you're doing something like that's completely different, is like how you're going to react to like all these different changes and these culture shocks, and how do you accept that? I think that's why like for people who like are traveling for the first time, I think that's a big thing that they have to overcome. Is like
scary.
But this is so different
Because it's
like,
challenging your worldview.
how are you gonna
Yeah.
how are you gonna get your information and all that stuff? But yeah, I think it's a luxury, but I feel like it's something that it would be nice if everyone kind of experience it and get the opportunity to see other areas and other places.
But it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially now with like ice and stuff. But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the first time I traveled by myself, that was pretty cool. I think that was kind of a big thing for me because I've always gone with like friends, family.
Yeah.
Where
Where was your solo trip to?
It was Canada.
Canada.
Which part?
So I started in Vancouver. I ended up all the way to Toronto.
Dang.
You went
west to east.
Yeah.
Did you see Drake?
I know. I'm like, where's this guy at?
I don't know if you want to be seeing Drake right now.
But yeah, no, it was it was from like just navigating, like booking everything, planning everything, and then also it's like, what are you gonna do by yourself?
Yeah.
Right.
And how are you gonna like socialize and
Right.
all those things. So it was a challenging experience, but it was cool. It was fun, and you just kind of one of those things where it's like, I would suggest it if you do have the opportunity or you have the time to kind of just try it.
Yeah.
Since it was Canada, obviously people speak English, so it was a little easier that way. It's like a nice.
Did you like plan like your way from Toronto to Toronto, or did you kind of just wing it?
So
How was that thought process like?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to start on the West Coast and then just work my way east, and I wanted to hit Banff National Park. That was like a big thing.
Beautiful there.
So that was really like my itinerary. And then once I got to Vancouver, I think the first thing was like, oh, Whistler's here, right? So I was like,
I've been there. Yeah.
So I went to Whistler. I was like doing the thing, and then and then just started working my way gradually, like figure out like, what hostel I'm gonna book next. And I think that was the thing, is like hostels and stuff like that. Those are kind of fun, little experience. But yeah, I just went to National Park and then worked my way over. I was supposed to go to what's that smaller place? Cause I have some family out there, but then I heard there was just like not too much to do. It's Nevada's from there too. I forgot.
Ottawa,
I'll have to think about
Calgary,
it. Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Yeah, Winnipeg. So I was gonna go there, and then I decided to like not, because I was like, well, I was like running short on time, so I was like, let me just skip. But then I ended up in Toronto. Then I wanted to go to Montreal, but then I ran out of time. Yeah. But and it's just like didn't really have too much to do, or like it was all just kind of like figuring it out. I think that was kind of nice, right? Because it's like you don't have pressure, and you just kind of do what
you're on your own timeline.
Yeah, you're on your own timeline. No one's rushing you unless you're not in a rush yourself. And if you miss something, you just kind of adjust, and then so it's interesting.
Yeah. Next question.
What's your best excuse when you're pulled over for speeding?
Why are you looking at me? But you got to go first.
Oh, I go first. Yeah. I mean, technically for me, it was not an excuse, but it was more of a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
But I guess, like I said, when I was on my way to see my daughter, like being born, I was able to actually not get a ticket, but I had to at least slow down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So that would be the only time I ever got out of a speeding ticket. And I would say I never got a speeding ticket after that ever.
Yeah.
So that really taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you say best excuse, does it mean that I have to work or?
That's up to you. Whatever your heart desires.
I mean, if has one worked for you before?
There was one that worked, but it's a lot of like circumstances that just kind of aligned.
That's okay. Just break it down.
So, so I did take it real bad, but I was like,
oh, I think you told us.
Yeah, I told you. I was basically like near my house, and to get to my house, you have to make this U-turn right there. So I was at the U-turn, but I was going down the Ted Williams. It's a long straight street, so I was speeding. I was like, it's coming. So I need to get to this stop because you have to wait the stoplight, then make a U-turn. I was like, I got to get there as fast as possible because it is coming, right?
Yeah.
But there was a cop that had just come onto an on-ramp over there and saw me speeding or whatever, and he did the lights and I was supposed to pull over, but I was like, I'm right near my house. I might as well just go right there, right? Because you don't want to stop like on the thing, like you have to go like into a like a thing right there. And he came up and it's like, I pulled you over. It's like, yes, I'm like speeding. What I didn't say was I let one rip right there. And I said, my house
You let one rip?
Yeah. And he said, my house is right there because we just parked on the thing. You can check my ID. I don't care. Give me a ticket. I need to go now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he took the card and he ran it real quick. I was like, all right, just don't do it again.
Yeah.
And then I basically just parked real and I ran in the house. I was like, man. So it's the first and only time.
You open the windows like smelling like like fart already. You're like, dang.
Yeah. I didn't say those words, but that's pretty much the first and only time I've gotten out of it.
It would have been funny if it was the wrong house. He goes in there
and he his pants at the door.
I can't go. I can't open the door. Oh my god. No.
And then he gives you a ticket.
Yeah.
Nice try, buddy.
Yeah.
Can I change my pants then?
Yeah.
Oh man.
How about you, Art?
I don't know. I've never given an excuse for speeding. Like the last time, I think the only time I got caught for speeding, I was maybe in college. Yeah, I was driving down this hill.
Yeah,
and I was just like, I just took it. I was just like, how fast was you going? I was like, I don't know. I think, you know what? I think I was so nervous.
Oh, it's one of those things. Yeah. It was your first time, right?
Yeah, I was so nervous. Like I said something under the speed limit. It was like a 40, and I was like, I think I was going 30. I was like, bro, so guilty. And then I ended up just getting a ticket. But yeah, I was just like, man, I can't believe that happened. But I never got a speeding ticket after that, though.
Yeah.
At least never gotten caught.
Thanks.
I think my best excuse would be I have to take if I did use that as a best excuse, but I did get a speeding ticket too, and I said I'm late for work. Right, at the time I was working at an after school program, and I was going down the 15, passing what used to be Fry's.
Mm-hmm.
There's like this big ramp at the top, and there was a police car parked at the top, and I was like, dang.
He got you.
He got me, and so what happened was I said, "Sorry, officer." I said my please, thank yous, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm just late to work. He gave me a ticket because I was going like maybe 15 miles over the speed limit. Yeah, over the speed limit. And then I had to report to traffic court, right?
Yeah.
And then so since I showed up, they cut it in half.
Oh,
and
nice.
I paid half what I would have.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think I did something like that too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's like a points on your
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 My parents were still pissed, but
Of course.
Of course, yeah. You're in trouble with the law.
all right, last question.
All right. What's your personal key to happiness?
My personal key to happiness, I would say, is like me being happy, right? Like, okay, cool.
Yeah. No sad.
No, exactly. I like spending time. I like spending quality time with people. I think that that's what really gives me happiness. Being an extroverted person, and also being a social person, I thrive off environments that, like help me recharge by hanging out with friends I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Engaging in conversations like this makes me happy, right? Like being with you guys right now, like this is pretty fun. No, like this is dope. Like I like having these type of conversations, and like,
Oh yeah.
to me, these are the type of things that allow us to keep going, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's things to look forward to. It's things that we can reflect on. And it's like, I think to me, that's like what makes me happy. I don't believe that, like, yeah, it's nice to have material things, but it's not, it's this, like what we've been talking about and stuff is like, I'm going to remember that more than, the other stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Mine would be literally just kind of gaslighting myself. No. I'm kidding.
He's not kidding. He's like, Brian, you got this. You don't give up.
No, what I mean is like it's all like in a mental state,
Yeah.
right? Like it's when I say like I use that because like
fault.
no, but it's literally like if you're faced with like a situation, it's always literally just finding like the first kind of silver linings in it and really kind of believing in those little kind of things. And it's also kind of ties into just enjoying like the little things that happen, right? Like, so maybe you did get like a speeding ticket, but then like you were able to, I don't know, find somewhere like else around the way, or like not to go to that area because it was like a cop posted up or whatever, right? So it's like literally just convincing myself that that even though like something bad happens, I can still find some good in it.
Like his story earlier, he probably pooped himself. Brian, you made it to the bathroom.
Yeah. You didn't yourself. You didn't like I did.
There was a little stain. There was a little stain.
I got out of it.
Just
Like
took a
you
dump and then
almost
decided to just take a shower after.
In the shower.
like you almost got a ticket, but you didn't. Yeah. You almost shot yourself, but you didn't.
Yeah.
So net win.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
like it's for my personal key to happiness is just literally like finding all those like the little things that you normally wouldn't find joy in, or if there's a situation,
Literally.
yeah. See what I did there? Yeah. Just finding the silver linings in things. Yeah. Always having that positive mental attitude.
Yeah.
For me, it's like finding the like little wins.
Okay.
Even the little wins, you got to celebrate.
Oh yeah.
In my 20s, like I had the hardest time finding happiness.
Yeah.
Like that whole period is like, how do you find this? Because you can't keep digging yourself into this quicksand.
Yes.
You gotta find ways to dig yourself out, get out of there, right? And so I would tell myself like, handle what you can control. The rest is out of your hands. Even if you're in a situation, you have a new day the next day.
For sure.
And since then, it was like, because I remember when Michelle passed away, like that was like depression. Like you saw, like I went hiking like every single like four times a week by myself.
Yeah.
I lost so much
and
weight.
And then you were like, hey, you want to come with me?
Because it got to a dark place. But then I was like, why do I got to do this by myself?
Yeah.
And so like since then, like I use it till this day because we go through life stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
We go through deaths. I think the pandemic went to like a handful of deaths. And I'm just like, I got to stick to what's worked. And so, that's one thing that's I've kept the time just to keep myself sane, keep myself happy. Up you, Art?
I mean, I think what's interesting is like, kind of what we're talking about, just like material things sometimes, that's not really, although it gives you like happiness in the moment and things, but the lasting stuff is based off of like the relationships and the experiences we've had and things like that. But like for me recently, it's just trying to find like, something that just keeps me going, whether it's like connecting with old friends or doing something that you used to do, like kind of you went back to Pokemon, like I've gone back to like paintball.
Nice.
Right. And kind of, you know, figuring out like where the communities are that kind of like are
Yes,
in
that's the
alignment with
Community is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
important because like I think like that was the key word that you just said. I think that's also an integral part of like happiness because it's like as humans, I believe we're social creatures and you can't do things by yourself.
Yeah.
No
It's
man
like
is an
you-
island,
you
right?
Can't you can try. That's okay. You can try, but like it's a lot less fun to do things by yourself than with other people.
Yeah, and I think that's just something that comes with age and everyone growing up, and even like your, you know, what would you call your core friendships, or you know, they'll be there.
Yeah.
But everyone kind of has their life, and things are kind of unfolding, and so it's like you kind of have to sometimes like build your own like new community just to kind of, you know, fill in the gaps, and you know, understanding like, you know, spending time with your friends, that'll come. But this, how do you get in between those, you know, family parties or whatever it is, and how do you keep yourself on a day to day, like just motivated? So, yeah, I think it's a lot of that is just, you know, it's individual, but also like, yeah, again, it's just making sure that you have people
A
to
support
surround
system.
you,
Yeah.
some way.
Taking those steps.
Yep.
All right, Q&As. Let's answer some Q&As from the community. So these are submitted in our stories for Carldee.
That's me.
Yeah, and the first one comes from Alan. So Adventure Time Alan. How did you pick your major?
I think we kind of covered that, but to summarize, I used to be a nursing major because I was Filipino.
Literally, just
Oh, sorry, I am. My
oh,
bad.
it was like you changed.
I changed.
That's a prereq.
I'm Americanized now, you know, like Jesus. But
That's part of the prereq to become a nurse. It's Filipino.
First, the first question.
are you Filipino? Yes.
Check.
You're in.
You don't got to take this class as equivalent to this.
There's classes on how to become Filipino. Can you imagine that? Could you imagine that?
Right.
Oh my God.
You got to take Tagalog or like some kind of
And then they
Filipino
spray tan you.
history.
They spray tan you.
They're like, you gotta learn how to make lumpia. But how I picked my major was because, like I mentioned, I did well in microbiology, but also Alan is also one of the inspirations of why I picked my major, because his mother was at CLS already, so he was like going on that path, and I was like, oh, like CLS sounds cooler than being a nurse, because it's like, in my opinion at the time in college, I was like, my mom's like, you're not a very caring person. You need to be very attentive to these people. I was like, I just know the answer. That's just what I'm good at. It's like, I'm sorry, you know? And I was like, maybe I could just be in the lab then, all right? Like, I just want to be right, you know? So, like,
I want to find the answers.
yes, let me find the answers. I don't, you know? But, so how I picked my major was a lot of different influences in college, but I would say, like I said, Alan is one of the people who inspired me to pick my CLS major.
Brian, you want to read the next one?
Border X Bros asks, how does Carldee stay positive every day with a smile?
You're known for a smile.
That's true.
You're always smiling, yeah.
Okay, so the reason why
He's smiling right now.
The reason why I can stay positive every day with a smile is because I've gone through some really dark times.
Yeah.
Like the people who have gone through really tough times, they realize that life is so much easier than it was yesterday. You know what I mean? And when you're thankful to wake up every day, like I've had family pass away, I've had losses, I've been kicked through the mud, bro. Like I've gone through some stuff that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, emotionally, physically, financially, anything, right? And when you understand that like life is so much easier when you have a positive twist to it, it makes your day go much better.
Yeah.
Like I remember in college, it's all, my minor was psychology, and what I've learned in psychology was that you kind of have to, like Brian said, gaslight yourself and tell yourself everything's gonna be fine. Like, like there's this study where a lot of people who pursued a doctorate, right? They have these notes on their like walls or like a vision board, whatever.
Yeah.
They have these things that help
Positive
them.
affirmations and
Yes,
stuff.
positive, because if you don't have people in your life giving you positive affirmations, you got to give it to yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what I've learned in my case is that I have so much people giving me positive affirmations that like the best thing I can do is smile and be thankful and be happy for what energy they're sending towards me. Because I've learned that negative energy, it multiplies and it doesn't go well. You know what I mean?
It compounds even.
It compounds. Yeah.
Was it a be the light that you wish to see upon the world, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Michael Scott.
Wayne Gretzky.
That's crazy because you're talking about this, like the dark times and all this stuff. Like I literally got goosebumps. Like I was listening to myself. I was picturing myself when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Like, and now that I'm older, right? I'm just like, if this is the worst thing, then and I get through this, what's next?
Yeah.
Because I've already got through all the worst stuff. I've gone through the days where, you know, like I'm in this ditch or like you said, like you're in this, like in the mud. I experienced those days. So what's next? Like, and then when the next thing happens, you're like, okay, I know what I did last time. Let me apply it to this and I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's like, that's why I don't feel like it's fake, because I know that like I've gone through things that I feel like it makes it seem like this is not that bad compared to all those times, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, shoot, like I can't believe like I did that. You know what I mean? It's like I've gone through it. Yeah.
Did you realize that, you know, at one point we were like, I can't do this alone now.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for
I need
sure.
support.
It's at a certain point, I believe that I've never felt like I wanted to tackle on life by myself.
Yeah.
It's because I grew up as an only child. And so I already knew what it was like to try to go through life by myself, right? And like the expectations and stuff. And that's why when I got into college and I found like my support system, like I am very thankful for those people, because it's like they reminded me that I don't have to do things alone. And, you know, shout out to my girlfriend for being, you know, keeping me happy too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So she keeps a positive smile on my face too.
Yeah. Art.
Oh, yeah. All right. So this one is from Nadine, Miss Nadina. Favorite after school snack as a kid?
Ooh, okay, check it out.
He's gonna go through a whole tier list.
No. I'll,
The crackers with a stick and cheese.
no.
You talking about?
No. I got you. But it's a old school Filipino one. It's called Mallows.
Okay.
It's like
Sounds familiar.
there's a circle graham cracker, and then there's like a marshmallow in the middle, and it's chocolate covered.
Yeah.
So like when you eat it, it's like a s'more.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Fire.
They still sell that?
Maybe in Cebu City.
Yeah.
Is it called Mallow or?
Mallow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was fire.
All right, this last one comes from official Alexis Marrero. Alexis, who do you like to see live? I guess in music.
I've seen Kendrick Lamar perform live
Oh.
He's
before.
good.
I gone to the Kia Forum just to watch him perform before. Number 2, I would say Chris Brown.
Chris
on,
Brown?
now.
Okay.
I would want to see him live.
Dang.
Like
What if he pulled you on stage? Would you sit in the seat?
what?
You know what I'm talking about? He pulls a fan on stage.
Oh, dude, I'd be dancing with him. I'll be like,
No, he does the worm, right? Doesn't he do the worm?
shoot,
Body rolling on
Yeah.
right? I would say Chris Brown's
He's a
pretty
good performer?
dope. He's a great performer.
Okay.
He could dance. I like people that can dance. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he's still doing it. Yeah.
yeah, he is. I don't know when he's gonna do a next tour. I mean,
Well,
it is
he's
what
doing
it
a
is.
tour right now, but he
is
got
he?
arrested recently.
Oh, I bet.
Shoot.
He's a wild boy.
He was on bail for like $5 million. He's in a different country or something like
Oh
that.
my
Yeah.
goodness.
So he can finish his tour.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
All right, next.
Next, my last one that I would like to see perform is Lea Salonga.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
my-
Because
Did
like,
How old is
perform?
she now?
I don't know, but like, come on, she was Mulan, right? Like,
Oh, was she?
Yeah. Like however many Disney princesses, I'm pretty sure.
It's out of your range, man.
It's out of my range. I can't do it, bro. But
you're like, whoo.
No, but I thought that she was like a very big influence
definitely.
for like like Filipino
culture.
singers, man. Back in the day, like she really helped pave the way that Filipinos can sing.
Dude, did you?
Well, no, she let the whole world know.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I think she was in Hawaii maybe like 5 years ago performing at like the convention center, something like that.
Oh, what?
Check out our website.
Did you grow up listening to Andrew E?
Oh, yeah. Banyo Queen.
Yeah, I love all his movies, dude.
Yeah, I love Andrew E. That guy's hilarious.
All right, guest plug. Where can our community members find you? Social media handles, website?
My Instagram is _Carldee. That's CARLDEE. My Pokemon content creating Instagram is Silphco. That's CILPH_CO.
Any shout outs, recognition?
Yeah, I'd like to start off by shouting out my family. Thanks, Mom, for bringing me here to the U.S. Right, and shout out to the Carldee family for having us here in the U.S. when we first moved here. And then I would say shout out to my daughter. Right, I love being a father to her, and obviously the mother of my child for giving me a beautiful child. So thank you. I appreciate that. I want to give a shout out to my girlfriend, Lizelle. She has been holding it down for me these last few months.
Ooh.
I would say also, like, I have a long list, man. Like, I'm just
keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
Miss your shout outs.
All right, cool.
He just pulls out a list. It's like a scroll.
Hey, right?
His Pokédex.
Shout out to HOV, who you be. That's those are the people that I be riding with ever since college. They've been my roommates, ride or dies everywhere we go. It's a party. I would also like to highlight Microwave, right? They helped me kind of get into the business that I am into now, and that's where I met Wilson, who has been giving me help for the Pokemon tabling event. I would say shout out to my current roommates because they're pretty dope. I just met them maybe last month, but
dang.
they're pretty good people, man.
Yeah.
Like
Cool.
I think that it's a good vibe. And shout out to my previous roommates too, Nelson and Jasmine. They helped me be more understanding of relationships because
cool.
in the past, I feel like I learned to change that mindset of what it means to be in a relationship. Right? It's a balance between the male and female energy, not just one.
Right.
Or between partners. Right?
Or between partners. Yeah.
You know, long list. Those two more after.
I know. I was just freestyling.
That's a tale for another time.
I
though.
know.
All right. Any upcoming projects and or events that you're excited about?
I know that we're trying to do more local card show events, but I will be trying to be at more trade shows locally here in San Diego. If you see, I'll post it on Silphco, which is on my Pokemon Instagram account. Later this year, I'll be tabling at the AOAC Summit.
Okay.
Here in San Diego at the Town and Country Resort. So that's going to be later this year in August, I believe. So that's going to be something exciting.
Big one. Yeah.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
Nice.
So those are my upcoming events and projects. And
if there's anything that you want us to help, I guess, promote or even just share, tag us on there. You don't have to tag us on there, but do one of those hidden tags.
Yeah, I got you.
And then we'll reshare.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll do that. I gotta probably do that on the Silphco one soon.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Last call. This section for Brian, Art, and myself. Thank you. Shout out to anything you guys want to plug, upcoming events, pod encounters with friends and family.
I'll start with some shout outs to just everybody just listening. I was actually going through the Instagram just to kind of see what the engagement was looking like. So, it's interesting to see people leaving comments and things like that. So just appreciate the time you're spending scrolling and taking a moment to stop, comment.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort because it's easy just to like and then move on.
Yeah.
So you rock.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks, Carldee, for coming on today.
Yeah,
sharing
thank you
your
guys for
story.
having
me.
It was great to communicate and conversate about all things and get into this. I've actually haven't opened one of these. It's like booster packs, so it was actually kind of cool. Yeah.
And you're a big Pokemon Go person too, right? Or,
Yeah, I have. It comes in waves.
Yeah.
So it was cool. And then I guess just the paintball community. Working my way in there, and they're being super welcoming, and it's a good time being active, being out, and getting to shoot people.
Anyways, yeah,
Right.
I just want to thank you, Carldee, for joining us. It's
Yeah,
always a
thank
pleasure having you, around. Thanks to you guys as well for always coming and making the time to do all this. Jason, for setting all this up.
Yeah. And then editing this this 4-hour episode.
This is gonna be a 2-parter.
No, it's gonna be 2 hours at least.
You're gonna okay. Again, just want to thank everyone who's been working with me this past busy season. This weekend, like right after this, I gotta go do another formals.
Jeez, today?
Yeah, it's
Today's Sunday.
It's on
That's
it's
crazy.
Memorial Day weekend.
Wow.
Man.
Oh yeah, facts.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend.
crazy.
So yeah, that's at 3:30, and it's currently 1:00 right now. So.
Damn, they hella waiting.
Yeah. No, but just thank you to everyone who's worked with me this past season. It's really great that you guys are supporting me. That you like how I take photos of everything.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, I did do a grad shoot Friday, for Jason's probably gonna make a sound, but for betas and and kappas. So
Okay.
we did a UCSD pier, and I think afterwards too, they had some other friends come in too. It's I think I saw you on Instagram. I was like, hey, I know that guy. It's you have a podcast? What is it and stuff?
Dude,
so.
Brian's been signing all these autographs lately.
I'm the only one that goes out.
Yeah, I have to put my sunglasses on to get recognized.
I have the.
Did you get recognized for just your voice alone one time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you're at the checkout at the grocery, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
He's like, I'm Brian.
No, but it's again, thanks to everyone that's at least tuning in.
Dude, I didn't realize that there was 2,000 on Instagram.
I told you guys, man.
I try not to keep up. I don't want to add any extra pressure.
Yeah,
I keep you guys in the loop and everything, but it's definitely been growing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time you hit 500, you'll be in the
No, we hit 500 already.
No, but
no videos.
Video.
video.
Oh,
Yeah.
500 episodes?
Yeah.
Why not?
Damn. Well, I mean, that's
Yeah.
Come on now,
Yeah,
you guys will get there. Yeah, that's 10% in the way.
You're gonna be a guest. How many times on there?
I got
Back
you.
as a co-host.
Yeah.
Hell
We're gonna have an
yeah.
episode where we all do shoots. He's gonna teach us all about microdosing.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it live on the.
That's the next episode.
Next episode.
I'll go into mine. Well, shout out to Carldee. I've known
Yes.
Carldee
Yeah.
since 2010.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
It's 2024 now. That's crazy.
5.
25. My bad.
Why'd you subtract a year?
Yeah. Well, I parked the DeLorean out front.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you for just your friendship, your support, your just this relationship over the years, and getting to see how you are creating these relationships in your own life with your daughter, with your mom, now new girlfriend. So maybe next time you come on the episode, we'll talk about how you guys met.
Ooh.
Possibility. But just
While on shrooms. I'm kidding.
it's the longest episode we've ever had. Yeah, thank you for coming on the show, for being vulnerable, and for sharing your whole life with us.
Yeah,
I
of
do
course.
appreciate it. And it's cool seeing you back in Mira Mesa. I didn't know you
Yeah.
were 4 minutes away.
I know. I was
Yeah.
Crazy.
when I looked up the distance, I was like, dude, that's literally down the street.
Yeah. So thank you for our community, for all the love and support, and for you guys. I mean, it's always been an experience. I didn't know we're gonna be opening up cards like this,
Yeah.
in this, and
We still got more to open.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got more to open.
Thank you to Nate Dean, of course, our executive producer, for all the support.
I was about to say, are you forgetting someone?
I guess just friends, family, work family, everyone that's been reaching out during my treatment. So thank you for all the doctors, nurses, all that too. Do us one last favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It does help us out. Road to 500.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm brewpac.shakur.
This is Art.
And this is Brian.
And Carl Dizzle.
I told you gonna do it wrong.
Well, it's because he went to the right. I was like, I don't know where I'm gonna go.
I knew it. Called it.
It's Carl. Carl went to the